Hey, what's up, everyone? Hello, and welcome to a brand new episode of Unusual and Exclusive Podcast. This is your host, Vikka, guys. Welcome to the show. What a surprise we have today. It wasn't planned to make this podcast because I cannot be here tomorrow. So it was just a synchronicity, maybe of the stars, that this unplanned podcast was supposed to happen. It, it's a very provoking title we have got there, my voyage to Asgard. Is it even possible for us humans to understand or see or feel or visit this kind of realms that exist here, right? Do we really understand what this realm is? Is it only that what we can see with our two eyes, or is more to that, right? Come and join me tonight to an awesome voyage to Asgard, right? Is it even possible, right? Being alive or not being alive, is it even possible to visit these realms, right? So get your coffee, spliff, whatever makes you comfortable, wine, and let's join in and let's see where this takes us, because there's so much that everything cannot be put into words, right? About this intelligent design, we might be so much out of misconception of what this realm is, right? And where do we really fit? So let's say hello to my two good brothers who resonates and understand that these kind of voyages are possible. Like, let's say hello to my co-host Gene. Gene, how are you doing, bro?
Hey, what's up, Vika? I'm doing awesome, brother. Nice surprise too. Yeah, definitely a good surprise and a really cool topic, bro. I personally think that has been so demonized by the narrative um, that it kind of makes it it was shoved into a lot of subculture, but a lot of music brought it to pop culture too, though. Bands like the Beatles, stuff like that, doing otherworldly trips in this realm. I have to think it's definitely possible, and a lot of old cultures call this medicine. You know, well, we call it harmful drugs over here in the United States. So I think that it should be talked about more. And I wouldn't say like everybody ought to be walking around, dosed out all the time or anything like that. Believe me, that's not what I'm saying either. But the things that are legal versus the things that are not legal are, I think, highly suspicious of hiding truth from us. And they have us in a physical world here that is definitely part of where we live, but it's not the only part of where we live, guys. And they hide the answers, and we all know that the answers are inside of us. So that's where I came up with my saying to trust the silence. And that's why I think they say trust the science, because there's nothing to be trusted in science, really. That's the most unscientific term ever invented. So, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to hearing what everybody has to say tonight, though. So, yeah, welcome, guys. Can't wait to see what's going on, bro.
Well said, right? Uh, the way to the cosmos or the universe or this realm is starts from within, right? Absolutely, brother. And let's say hello to our other brother, Psychedelic. How are you?
Yo, my brother Vika. Thanks for having me on here, man. I'm doing well. Gene, good to see you again.
You too,
Uh,
bro.
yeah, this is going to be very interesting, and it's very peculiar the way that it kind of, especially with you and myself, Vika, the way that we kind of bonded through the knowledge of psychedelics. And as everybody, you can see through my name, that's basically how I express my entire philosophy is through psychedelicizing your life. And I live through the psychedelizationism of one's mind. And I feel like, that we have that connection because psychedelics are way more than what society is portraying them as we've talked about. They For millennia, shamans have used these types of medicines all across the world, different cultures, and they are a technology. They're many things. They are used to expand the mind in ways that society cannot provide. It is um, it's almost alien like. It's almost uh, it's almost being like when you go into the experience and you experiment with psychedelics. It shows you a new path that is expanded. It allows you to have a glimpse into the the broadness of the possibilities of being able to see outside of ordinary normal human perception. And so that's why I think I think it could be beneficial for people who are kind of on the fence, thinking that psychedelics are maybe from the devil, or that psychedelics don't really help out in a way. They go really far back. And and that's why I'm actually grateful that um, you and I, Vika, we bonded through that knowledge. And as people may or may not know, the late great Terence McKenna was one of our influences, which brought us together through the knowledge that he shared. And I express a lot of that knowledge through my content today. And it shows a new approach into how you can express yourself. It gives you new opportunities. And so I feel like I'm really grateful for that. Um, and yeah, it's a shift that we're going through, especially now, considering everything that's happening now. It can allow you to make sense of what's going on. And I think that's what a lot of the ancient cultures use them for. Like how Gene was saying, not to be something that's abused or to be used a lot, but to be utilized um, conscientiously and intelligently, used as a tool, as a technology, when the time is appropriate, when the time is needed. And that's how I have all my experiences in the past. Before I utilize it as something to utilize my mind and my thinking as a neurological slingshot, and to be able to open up those pathways in the brain for higher thinking and to be more creative. So yeah, it's definitely a pleasure to be here, and thank you for having me, guys.
Oh yeah, bro. Medicine for mind, body, and soul, right? This creator has created a lot for us, right? As you guys are saying, these are technologies, right? It has the potentials of feeding us, sheltering us, curing us, and also make one with the divine, right? We want to trust in man-made things. We see where we are today. This podcast is not to publicize the use of different medicine or anything like that. It's just for research and educational purposes only, right? I think anthropology, as you guys are saying too, that there are all the cultures have something related to the psyche of connecting with the divine, right? Every culture. Why are they doing that, right? That might be the reason they even started having to learn and start speaking and creating things, right? Most of the cosmology speaks about visits and different interdimensional realms and beings and everything, right? Every cosmology have their own symbols and art and everything. in their own sense, right? We all call them as mythologies from different cosmologies, right? So these are all is information which has been stored in this earth, right? For example, the avatar, these people are connecting in the roots. They're just copying it from the reality. That's how the mycelium and works. It stores the information of the civilization that lived there. It holds it as a memory, right? All the cultures, right? That's why
Exactly.
we have in every culture. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the planet is alive, and the ancient cultures knew this. The ancient cultures knew that where we live is just one tributary portion of the entire unified existence altogether, and that where we are is a very unique place, but at the same time, it's also a very confusing place that holds many, many mysterious mysteries, and that where we are is sort of like it's almost like the basement, if you will, of the higher realities. And a lot of the ancient cultures knew this, that but that the higher realities were not physical, you know. And the society today makes everyone think that everything is materialistically physical, and that's the only thing to life. But the ancient cultures knew that there was way more to that, and that there was a way to tap into that, the oneness, the divinity of this planet. And I feel like that, um, that mental expansion that you can get through psychedelics allows somebody to tap into that. And that even outside of psychedelics, we have regular normal human experiences that are connected to it, like when we meditate, or when we go into to deep sleep, lucid dreaming. All of those experiences that people go through on a regular basis, they're all linked to these higher dimensions regardless, but they just don't see it that way, because the way that society has raised us just tells us, oh, those are just dreams, those are just visions, those are just visionary experiences that just so happen to happen to you. But they're actually,
So that's my question, right? If it's only a vision and hallucination, why did Enoch, why did Ezekiel, or any other so-called prophet was seeing things and was not a hallucination, and it was an actual visit to the heavens? Was it?
That's good.
Go ahead, Gene.
No, that's a good question. You know, I want to comment on what Psych was saying about the world being a great mysterious place. It really, really is. There's plenty of natural mysteries here, but when they cloud the truth from us, it just makes things so much more difficult. You know, there's some real creepy people in charge of what's going on around here, and they'll do anything to hide the truth from us. And part of those truths are, you know, the shape of the world and the interconnection to the God within us all, and the connection to all of us, to every other one of us. They don't want us living in a peaceful society. It's kind of weird.
yeah, see, what they do is that, see, the ones who are the rulers of this place, they live in that experience. They live
Mm.
under that knowledge that this is a divine realm, and they have all the knowledge of the ancient cultures, where they all expressed that it was a oneness of the world, where, there was free energy that they could tap into. There was an ether that the whole entire all the ancient cultures knew about. But just like how you said, Gene, through the unfolding of history, of his story, they've created all of these ideological routes that people have taken, and it's divided everybody into having their own individual biases of about where we live. And I think that's all about what the awakening is trying to awaken others to get back to that oneness, the unity of that this place is here for all of us, and that everything has been provided for us. Everyone that's what the awakening is about, tapping back into that knowledge, because people are just going through life from birth until the grave, thinking that there's nothing more than what they see when they open their eyes, the physical, the solid reality. But it's more than that. It's about, what the psychedelics can open up to you is they let you realize that, and be able to bring that type of knowledge and awareness into the everyday life. It's it's a more spiritual aspect that I feel like is really what's being hidden from us. And I think that's what the sad part about, living in a time like today is that people misinterpret it. And I really feel like there's so much more that can be expressed in a single person's life through higher awareness and surrendering to the experience. It can open up a bliss, a list full of blissful types of ways of thinking. And I think a lot of people are struggling with that. And I feel like that's all what it's all about, and I think that's what the mission of this stream is going to be for, is to get people to open up to the shamanic way of thinking. I feel like we all put that into our content, us three, and I know a couple other people who try to try and amplify, what we say, and that there's underlying meaning. There's way more to there's levels to this shit. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Deep.
You see, you sound like you're trying to build leaders, bro. That's not what a cult does, is it now?
Right. Yeah,
And
they
that's
don't
what we
want.
do. We're trying to help individuals think freely, and contribute to this masquerade of information that we're trying to sift through.
Oh yeah, and is it even possible that during these visits or connections or being with the divine, it's to bring something back here, right? Apart from understanding what could these realms could be, is to get things also here, that energy of the firmament down here. So this is the thing that people have to understand, that is it even possible to make this kind of things happening? So this is the whole idea, that the people want to connect with the divine. It's not only what we're going to see with our eyes is the only reality, right? That is the reason in all cosmologies we have those special places, the one where the divine lives, right? In Bible we have the throne of the god. In the Greeks we have the Mount Olympus, right? In the Vedics we have the Mount Meru, right? In the north we have the Yggdrasil, right? In the east we have got the Shambhala, right?
We got BlackRock in America.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I think that's what the psychedelics can actually do, is because we're already all thinking about these places already enough as it is. But what the psychedelics can do is they actually can give you first hand experience of these places, because if people subscribe to the fact that, consciousness is one single mind altogether, and that we are just the fractal units of it, then we have all of those experiences in our brain already subconsciously. And through these psychedelic experiences, we can see those memories, basically like memories. We can see those in in our everyday waking life more easily. We can tap into those visions, into those graphical images in our mind, and it allows us to be able to put it into words and to be able to speak about it in such a way to where people understand it, and then it would wake that up in somebody else and go, aha, these ancient maps that we're talking about, a lot of these places actually do exist, and that's why they hide them from us in today's society, but they're actually really there.
Yeah, people are not
Yeah.
going to make it up. Exactly. People are not going to make it up, right? The Garden of Eden or the Garden of Odin from the Yggdrasil is a different part of the same, right? Different two cosmologies are saying the same things, right? The Atlantis, these people didn't make shit up
Mhm.
because there's information or there is connection that the people are. It's not that Atlantis is gone, right? Or Asgard is a mythology. Go ahead, Gene. So, bro.
I'm listening. I'll jump in though. You know, all the plants are here for us, guys. The animals, we're all here for each other. Um, we were all put here, and like when you eat a tomato, let's say, it gives you certain nutrients, right? When you eat, let's say, a pepper, gives you certain nutrients, right? Let's say when you eat a mushroom, things happen, right? So it's all been put here for us. So another something else crosses through my mind is last night was that big planetary alignment, and I hate calling them planets, that the wandering star alignment.
I like to call it luminiferous alignment.
Oh,
The
nice. That's great. Yeah, good one. So that luminiferous alignment last night, it makes me wonder, guys, maybe you understand a little better than me. Is there a way to know, or do you know if like, let's say, a full moon is a good time to do this, or is it sort of like something you got to feel out and get the answers from within to find out if there is a good time? Because I know the stars line up for us every single minute. How is, I guess, debatable, right? And when to strike can be kind of calculated through the motions of the bodies up there. So that makes me wonder if there is a divine timing for some of these, let's call them events that we're causing to take place for us, right?
Wait, what were you asking about the moon, Gene? What were your speculation?
Yeah,
Alignment.
I'm wondering
Yeah,
if.
these alignment have something to do with absolutely these magical experiences are mind blowing and undefinable by itself, right? So you imagine on it was a new moon, and with those seven luminaries lining up. So as
Right.
psychedelic was saying, it's like a lock that opens,
Mm.
access that open to the central shaft that you could reach where we are speaking about, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that the stars, the moon, and the alignment of things could really play a key factor on the calibration of how things work for you when you do these things. You know what I mean?
It amplifies thousands of time.
Okay, yeah. I had a feeling it was something like that. Wow.
Keith, how are you?
Hey, Vikka. Aloha, everybody. I'm doing well.
Aloha, what's up, brother? Welcome.
Thank you. Well, what's up with the Saturday show?
Yeah, it was just a surprise show. All right, because maybe tomorrow I cannot do a show tomorrow because I have things to do. So it just synchronized with my travel from yesterday's luminary alignment. So I thought it was like the thing is I need to share what I can, and I always try to put it in words. Right? You guys remember I had an whole podcast about my meeting with the seraphims, right? Then Gene also knows about my experiences with Atlantis and all this stuff. So it just happened that it needs to, I feel like sharing with the community, right? The people have different ways to understand this realm, right? Different ways. Like you want to study, you want to visit physically, but there are other possibilities of understanding this realm. That's a spiritual connection with the intelligent design, right? When you are in frequency with the one shows you more than you can even handle or see and know that it's possible that exists in this realm. This realm is freaking magical, right? So just thought it would be amazing to share what I see, what I visited, right? So just out of the blue, brother.
Yeah, very cool. I totally agree with you. It's a very magical, mystical place. There's lots of things we don't know, a few things that we do know. But yeah, I love to live in the wonder of it all. I'm okay saying I don't know about certain things, but yeah, it's a magical place if you're open to it, for sure.
Oh yeah. We have Sam. Sam,
There
how are
should
you?
be some sort of classes in these schools for kids to learn how to lucid dream. I think it's a really wonderful place. You know, you start to have out of body experiences, and lucid dreaming it takes all the physics out of this world and lets you do whatever you want. Really fun, very easy to do. And a lot of, again, you know, people demonize it. Oh, you're flirting with the devil. Stop pulling my chain on that, please. Everything they want to throw at the devil. Like, stop. It's like what you do is more devilish than things you say, kind of, right? Or,
Yeah, Gene, I think they purposely say that because they when I say they, I'm talking
right,
the inorganic people of the world.
right.
I
The
think
commonplace people, sort of.
they say that because they themselves actually dabble into all of this, and they know how mystical that these experiences can have, the profound experience that it can have on a single mind, and that's why they devilize it, they demonize it, because they don't want people to even look at it. They want to they
People to be afraid of it,
yeah, they enslaved.
demonize it, and point your finger at people that do it, and like a television show, bro.
Exactly, but it's also not for everybody too, right? You have to be in your
Right.
right mind. If the people are having hard time even understanding what we can see here is what's happening, so it's really difficult too, right? To it's like how much you research, the more you know, right? When we want to research something, the more we research, the more we know. So the same thing goes with this, right? It's a technology made by the creator, and it depends what you try to do with that and how much you understand and how much time you give to how it works, right? So
True.
like any other skill, right? Hey, what's up, Sam? How you doing?
Good, good. Thanks you.
Sam,
Very
welcome, brother, welcome.
What's up,
welcome.
Sam? How you doing, man?
How are you, Gene? What's up?
Aloha, Sam.
Check it out. It's very interesting, podcast you got here. It's like, whoa. It's great to see how flat Earth, like I wrote, flat Earth, draws people, to reach God, to just unite with God. It's nice. It's nice how we're looking for the truth. Looking for the truth just draws us naturally to just like go back to God. It's very, very, very interesting.
And it makes it a lot easier to drop our differences and not fight about our differences. I don't care about our
Exactly.
differences, man. We get along
Difference.
plenty. 80% of 100. I don't. I'm not going to concentrate on the 20%. That'll fix itself.
But the difference is that we have who does profit from them actually today. The people that actually did create them.
Yeah,
We,
right. Exactly.
we,
It's very engineered and learned behavior and
exactly.
thought. That's why I was thinking if kids were brought up lucid dreaming, it might be a little bit more acceptable for more people. But by the time you're 12, your feet are kind of set in concrete
Yeah,
a little bit. 15, you're done. You could very well be done expanding your mind and world, and you just
well,
you're ready to go pay as much tax as you could get your hands on.
dreams are close to imagination. Imagination is like a step before the dream. But you know what kills imagination?
School.
Images.
Sure, yeah, it gives you a perceived perception and stops you from thinking.
Say
Not
the word imagination slowly.
imagine, yeah, imagination, exactly.
I am a magician.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
Nice. Because I always thought about, what is that commandment of God, just not to make images and all that. And when you think about it, look, like before, like 60 years ago, I don't know, 100 years ago, people didn't have television, phones, and all that. So the kids were like, usually before to go to sleep, they were listening to stories their grandfathers or grandmothers were, telling them. So without images, every kid used to imaginate, according to his own brains, his own imagination. He used to put his own pictures on the story. But now with the phones and televisions, the pictures are imposed to you. So there's no place for imagination. You have to see what they show you. You understand? So
Good
pictures
point.
and images, it kills the imagination. And imagination, we know, it's a step, towards even prophecy and towards, dreams and visions and everything. But if you cut the imagination, if you live in a world of images, so it's hard to connect you know to God, because you connect to their gods, not yours anymore.
Oh, that's
yeah.
great.
They suppress the imagination. They bombard us with all of the images
Exactly.
they want us to see. And I think that's why it's important, because like when I go out and make my videos and I go out and look at the sky, I tap into my inner child. I become a kid again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like people should be doing that more. And
Oh, yeah.
they even demonize that. They even they put a title on that saying, "Oh, you should grow up," blah blah blah.
Acting childish.
When in reality, I don't even think none of that even exists.
Exactly.
I think that it's so healthy for people to have that mindset and to tap back into their inner child, because like how you were saying, Vika and Gene, every day we learn something new. We learn something new about the movement of the sky or some type of motion. And that little passion in our heart just pops out and that emotion comes out in us. And I think people kind of suppress that, because they feel like society is expecting them to be a certain way and to express themselves in the way that they feel emotionally deep down themselves. And I feel like if people were to encapsulate that more and express that more, then we wouldn't have such a stressed out population like how we do now. I really feel like that's where a lot of people's problems is because they feel like they have to act a certain way in the way that society is approved for.
That's something to confirm what you say, but coming back to a state of being a child, it's funny that you come to that conclusion, because in Judaism we learn that also. We say that the children from the age 0 to 3 years old, they have the gift of prophecy.
Mm.
All children. We don't even cut their hair. We cut their hair at the age of 3. Anyway, there is some shit here we have to understand that we do not understand. But this is interesting. Children. This is what we believe. This is our beliefs. But
Oh yeah,
makes sense.
absolutely. We are the children of this creator, this whatever you want to call it, divine or mother,
of course,
father,
of course.
whatever.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
are the children. So the
Right.
same way we start learning about where we are right now, the same thing happened when you are in those other realities, right? Because if you really, people really start seeing it, it's more real than what we think is reality right now. This is a dream because there nor you are a man, nor you're a woman, nor you're a child, nor you're an animal. You are just part of the divine that everything exists.
That's it. And people are fighting this, but they cannot fight it because this is what it is. And people that are fighting this somehow, that committing suicide and self-destructing, because this is so stupid to fight this. And you have people that fight this idea to be part of something divine, something big. I don't know.
Oh yeah, and this is the thing. It's not that just because I'm into flat Earth and that's why I just started the new thing. No. Right. I'm more than 20 years connected with the creation, right? And every time you evolve, it's not that you stop learning, you know everything. No. Every day you're gonna learn every day, right?
Mhm.
So I took and I take that as an ability for me, because I understand that this is a technology and a tool to do kind of research or to go and see, right? Because thought, the speed of light, as Gino said also, right? The thought is instant, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't need time,
Wow, you remember
right?
that? That's cool.
Yeah, wow.
It's true. The thought, I remember thinking that when I heard that sunlight takes 8 minutes to get to the earth, and I was like, well, my thought can get back and forth billions of times in that 8 minutes. I was like, that's crazy.
Yes.
Why do
Yes.
they discount that? I don't know. Always questioned the science. Always had issues with what they were saying, lots of what they were saying, and I fell for plenty of it too, though. So I'm happy to be where I am now. That's
Oh yeah, once you're part of the ether and you're connected with the ether, it's like instant. It's like instant.
Yeah. And we all tap into it. We're all connected in with the thin air, right? The air is the fabric that connects us all, guys. I really think that. I have a hard time seeing past that anymore.
When you think about it, even the water that you drink has been drunk like many times before, because the water always circulates. So everything, like you say, everything we breathe has been already how do you say, breath already. So that's a nice thought. We are connected by the earth, by the air, by nature, by everything.
Right. That's great.
Of course it is. It is great.
Oh, we are part of this mechanism, right? Even though if we don't feel or see sometimes, we are part of this multi-layered gear system or mechanics, a biomechanical system, and we are part of it. Everything that exists is a part of it, right?
Yep. Every single there are no extra parts.
Yeah, everything is energy, and we are the extensions of that source of energy. And I feel like if people were to actually take on that philosophy, take on that interpretation, that perspective, then they would understand the fundamental laws of how energy works. The philosophy of equivalent exchange of energy, and how things are either going to chemically connect or they're chemically going to repel from each other. And I think that ties into the psychology of the human personality. And not everyone is going to connect with every single person. And I think that there's so many levels to that. But tapping into that philosophy, of that transcendental philosophy, I think is probably the best pathway for a human to possibly take in regards to that. You will see the hidden truths. You can uncover these hidden dimensions that are in the brain right now, psychologically, neurologically. They're there, but it's just a matter of the fact that we're not living in such a way to where it unveils that for us, to where it unveils the hidden aspects. And I think psychedelics tie into that experience, because it allows you to see the bigger picture all at once. It takes you out of your ego. That's one thing that I learned from Terence McKenna. Was he educated me a lot on how the ego works, and how so many people are confined to their egotistical ways, to their egocentric ways, and that you can literally burst out of that for when you adopt the philosophy of energy and light and geocentrism. These learning these things can really amplify a person's personality to be so high, in the terms of just being a great person, of being more transcendental, if that makes sense.
So it makes sense. You know why? Because when you think about it, if you believe there is a divine spirit, there is God, whatever you want to call him, is good at the basis, is very good. So that means that he's not evil. No evil comes out of him. However, here in this world, we see a lot of great evil. There's evil everywhere. So we're waking up out of it. We're trying to fight it. We're trying to, understand the truth and, promote the truth. But I was wondering if one of the goal of this world was not to study evil. That means to see, because let's say somebody's good, right? He's perfect. He's never makes like a mistake. So there's nothing to learn about him, because God is good also. Is perfect. So perfect man will not be very. It will be useless, I believe, to learn from, because we have God as a perfect model of what is good. Now, someone that is evil, is maybe interesting to learn about this, where evil comes from. You're actually here at the opposite side of God somehow, if the world is so evil. So that I believe that learning evil, fighting evil, trying to vanquish evil, it might be one of the goals why we are here. This is what we are doing. We are like waking up.
The evil guys need to be taken and forced to take this medicine, and they will
Yes.
change the world.
Yes, that's something like this. There is something that we have to understand, right? Because we have a goal. We have there is a purpose to all this whole reality. It's not just like
Oh yeah,
So,
because when we see the beauty of this intelligent design, you don't want to destroy it because it's freaking so amazing.
so that's the whole point. In order for us to see and to rediscover the beauty, that means at one point we lost this. Something made us lose that sense of reality, that sense of like beauty. Now we're rediscovering it, but it always was here. The thing is that what made it, what made us lose it. How come we have to rediscover all these things that the ancients knew, the things that the old civilizations knew? We lost it somehow. We lost it.
Oh yeah,
So
it's been told in every cosmology. It's been told all these amazing places and visits and everything. It's been mentioned. There is a reason. It's from thousands of years. People are showing these things and saying these things, right?
yeah,
They're trying to depict it in a more simple way, but there is so much truth to that.
that's yeah. We're living something special. Very very special times. Very special times. Yep.
So this is the thing, that people might ask, who the hell is Vikka claiming to visit Atlantis or to visit Asgard? Who the hell is he? He thinks he is, right? What I'm saying is that apart from my research and everything I do with flat earth, or another way to understand the realm, I have an ability, you could call it, with time, that I can access
Like
these
memories.
places. It's not memories, it's like just going there. It's like voyages. It's like you have to literally go there, right?
I have experiences like this, but not at all for like to go to some places. At one point, I remember like a few years ago, I used to see myself like in a awakened dream. Like I wasn't really dreaming. I was conscious that I was dreaming, and I used to see scenes of like trains, people in like in the streets and in other countries, actual scenes, like not in the past, like something that was going on. I remember this, doing this like a couple of times. It was it was a little scary. And a friend of mine told me, "Just stop doing this because you're playing dead, and it's dangerous because." So I just
Yeah,
stopped. But
this is, yeah,
but
yeah, brother, this is the problem, Sam, right? The
yeah,
people think they're hallucinating. People think
no, it wasn't
the
that kind of
people
stuff.
are the people are scared because they think they're hallucinating, right? This is the problem. Normally, it's not easy to freaking hallucinate. People are there in the mountains looking for nirvana or Buddha or any other saints. What are they looking for? They are looking for that hallucination, which is called AKA vision, because that's the way to connect with the divine. Why do you think these people are going through hardships in the ice mountain meditating, or whatever they are doing, people in different cultures, right? Is to get that aka light, the illumination, right? That is an access, like how psychedelic was mentioning, right? It's inside us. Once that you have that access, you're part of everything.
So
It just depends how you focus and where you go, or what it take you. It depends. It's not going to just take you in the first time where you want to go. No, it's a whole process of understanding and building up the skill to understand. And yeah, you need a lot of more
The
than beyond.
You
Yeah,
almost
go ahead.
have to have a relationship with it also, kind of. It helps, I think.
the psychedelic experience is not limited to ingesting some type of psychoactive substance. I want to bridge off of what Vikka was saying, is that it can occur spontaneously in your life, like how Vikka was explaining. These people are going up, doing the meditation into the mountains. That is a psychedelic experience. Having a child in your life can be a psychedelic experience. Life altogether, in my opinion, from your life from birth till death, is one overall psychedelic experience.
Oh yeah.
We have all of these little miniature psychedelic experiences within that time span that can reveal profound truths, can reshape your perspective, and having a psychoactive experience by ingesting those compounds is basically just like a little threshold
Catalyst.
a catalyst. And that, when it's always there, you can always type into that. And I think that throughout history, that term hallucination has just been the only term that has just been correlated to these types of experiences. But in reality, they're actually just experiences that we're supposed to have, and that the ancient cultures knew this, and that's what a lot of the ancient scriptures are trying to reveal to the person who is seeking the truth. And that this whole entire experience altogether of what we call life is serving as a gateway to learn. We're here to learn about what it is after death or whatever. And the psychedelic experience itself, it can just it brings you closer, because you come really close to dying. You think you're going to die, but then it can actually bring you to the point where you no longer have fear of death, because you basically can see beyond that threshold that the limitations of normal sober life doesn't allow you to see, in a way.
You can even feel like you are dead at the time, though. It's that strange. You feel like
Oh yeah. That is the reason, guys, that it's called out of body experience, because it's literally seeing beyond. That is what happened when a person has a near death experience. They speak about seeing a light, or they are seeing their families or whatever, right? And they come back, right? So it's just a small out of body experience. So as you guys were mentioning, it's different ways of attaining this level, or that going to that frequency, that you are free, that's the real part of you. You are not more than anything than pure light, because you are part of that astral. So when you realize that, it's everywhere, right? It's crazy, bro. Yeah.
Hey, what is so wrong about hallucinating anyway? I don't understand that.
You have to be lucky if you can hallucinate, because that's a blessing. That means the door is open.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how we call a cemetery in Israel, in Hebrew? It's a Bet Haim. It's called the House of the Living.
Oh wow, interesting.
Ah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, see, I think it takes discipline, I don't think to go back to what you were saying, Gene, I don't really think that there's anything wrong with having a hallucination. I just think the way that people interpret it, they give it a negative annotation.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think it's just all about disciplining yourself into how you interpret it yourself. And the more and more that a person actually has these psychedelic experiences, they come to that realization that it's really part of a transcendental awareness that is always there. And the more that you get, the more you get familiar with it, the more you can learn how to tap into it, even without using psychedelic substances. And being able to tap into that awareness, it gets expressed into your everyday message, like how I do. I try to incorporate it here and there, throw little breadcrumbs here and there. But that's basically what the whole entire lifespan is about, is understanding what is the meaning, searching for truth, going beyond what society has provided for us. The mental exploration, and I think these are the things that, regular society doesn't shed any light on, because there's an agenda behind it all. There is a nefarious agenda that, like how we said, they demonize these types of experiences to make us not want to have them.
Very good.
Yeah.
This
is the reason. Yeah, go ahead, Gene.
I was going to throw in quick about, here in the States, we had prohibition for 120 years on alcohol and 13 years for marijuana. So that might help people understand how really bad and backwards things are here. That plant could have wiped out so many industries, and that was a big part of it. It wasn't just about smoking pot, guys. It was about paper, oil, pharma, tobacco, alcohol, steel, plastic, you name it, textile. They were
Coffee.
all those. What's that?
Coffee, right?
Yeah,
also,
bro, everything. That plant could possibly obliterate all those industries in the right hands. So that's why it's not in the right hands.
Oh yeah, bro. Plant is technology. It's
Right?
real technology, guys. This is the
man.
crazy, right? So this is the thing also, right? Maybe this part of mine, people wouldn't have never known, right? I don't know why. I want to share with the people, because every time the connection is more deep, and maybe it's sending a message. Maybe that is the reason. Maybe this side of me, the people wouldn't have never seen, right? That's one of my way of connecting to the divine, and it just happened that I'm sharing. And this was all spontaneous, right? It's just trying to understand what is the realm is. Right? Yeah, go ahead, Sam.
The thing is that is very important what you said before, that I believe that you need a preparation, in order to just connect like this, because it makes sense to me that if in our reality here today we can be misled by so many people, by so many evil people, so many bad things, maybe in that other reality that we're trying to connect to, we might also be misled. Is it possible that we can connect to something that is not so divine or not so good, that also is out there? That's my question.
Oh yeah, it's the same way everywhere. Polarity is everywhere, brother. It's you're gonna find everything even there. It just depends, as you said, the preparation, the time, the skill, the understanding, the dedication, some time of right.
It is known that when people get drunk, some people have different reactions. Usually someone that is good inside is going to tend to laugh and to just kid around and be a good guy, like even drunk. But somebody that is not so good inside is going to bring up all that evil on the outside.
Exactly. This is the thing that, yeah, Sam, absolutely, because it brings up. So you imagine what these teachers can do, because everything that the divine has given us naturally,
yes, it's gonna reflect into. It's gonna be amplified by this. It's gonna be.
They're teachers, exactly. They're teachers. It heals you, it cleans you, and then it shows you. All of them are different teachers. How we take them. Alcohol is much more another kind of thing, right? And all the chemicals is another kind. These are not medicines. All the natural things. There's a huge list. I'm not going to go into it. is real teachers. So you have basic ones, and then you have the real McCoy. The real McCoys need a lot of time, preparation, understanding, slowly, dedication, and then you can start, in a way you could say, interdimensional time travel, if you want to call it, right?
Or I can call it like, God's, web. Like, there's a dark web, and there's also a white web. I believe that, that world of dreams and imagination and all that, maybe somehow the way God, can, help us communicate, or just like it's his network, his internet network.
Exactly. And
Somehow.
when we sleep, Sam, what do you think our spirit or soul or whatever you want to call it does?
Yes. Yeah.
Right? What it does. The only thing is we are not
does.
conscious enough to see where it's going. That doesn't
Yeah.
mean it's not possible. The other word of lucid dreaming or these connections is the same thing. It's like
Yes.
you are literally, yeah. Go ahead.
In our beliefs, it's like, the soul is coming out of the body and gets cleaned out and comes back every day. And it is said that every time you dream, the dream is like 2% of the death. It's like, I don't know how to say that. It's like death, but only a fraction of death. It's like it's a little
like
taste of death.
borderline.
That's all that I believe. But I believe it's, those people that wrote that, they knew what they were writing. But that's interesting, of course.
Yeah.
Oh
When
yeah, we are. Yeah, go ahead. Psychedelic.
I was gonna say when I posted a video about Rupert Sheldrake the other day. Rupert Sheldrake was a good friend of Terence McKenna, and he said something in this video that really spoke to me. And because we're so limited, when we think of the term consciousness, we have such a narrow perception of what consciousness is, and that we have to really step outside of the societal definition of what consciousness is. And that, like how you guys were talking about, that there's plant consciousness, there is human consciousness, and it's hard for us to actually have the higher awareness and the higher imagination that the sun could be a conscious being, as all of the ancient civilizations thought, that the sun and the moon and all of the luminaries were conscious entities, and that these were all a part of the higher divine consciousness. Like how you were saying, it's a web, it's a unified field of different levels of these static, electrostatic consciousnesses all throughout the entire realm that we live in. And I feel like being able to tap into that awareness and that understanding how everything is unified it gives you a better understanding of the entire universe as a unified field, as a unified whole, as an entire organism, and a whole entire organismic theater, if you will, if that makes sense. And I feel like, if somebody can have that transformation of their understanding of what consciousness is, I think it can lead to more creative ways of thinking, deeper, meaningful ways of understanding our position in it.
So how can we profit from that here? Like, let's say we live in a world with problems. You know what is being done to children in the world, to women, to elder people, to animals, to the nature. We have problems here in this reality. So the thing is that if I have a way to connect somehow to the divine or whatever, so how can I use that? How can I, use that to fight here or to
No,
change things
everything,
here?
brother. Once you are connecting with the divine, you are broadcasting that energy and that love of the divine, and everything changes around you. At a
Mhm.
local level, it starts, but it can go much more beyond, right? There is no definition of that, how you can explain what is happening.
So
This is the
what?
reason where the people speaking about airbenders and many different things, and right, psychedelic, like Tyler speaking about those energy with moving things and kinetic, right? This is not woo woo or something, guys. This is all capable, we humans, is just because they have put us artificial technology doesn't mean we humans are not capable of doing things.
Of course, we know this. So what are you saying somehow makes me think now, because what are you saying is that somehow if we do connect to God, somehow we do lose our individuality. That means that at that point it's not for us now to act. We're just transforming ourselves to, like, some kind of agents of God, or just like, that are diffusing love and good. And this by itself does the work. That means you don't have to act no more. Like, means, if I connect to God, so am I still like Samuel, or am I just now, mixed into the big blender, divine blender? Like that's
Yeah,
like
that's the thing, Sam. Terence McKenna referred to that as boundary dissolution, as dissolving the ego.
yes,
Is basically surrendering to what Vikka was explaining, is surrendering and becoming a broadcaster of
yes,
just pure light. Once you have those type of experiences and you tap into that awareness, you understand that you are no longer you, who you were supposedly born, and what they say that you're on paper to be. That's not who we really identify with. That it's outside of a birth certificate. It's outside of the name that they give you. It is you becoming submitting to, surrendering to the oneness of the planet, and that we are this. It's hard to put to words. We are this
well,
little.
I got a word for you, exactly the perfect word for you. You know what it is? It's exactly what we, again, I'm coming back to Judaism. I'm sorry, because this is where I am. But it's called being an angel. An angel in our beliefs, it might be also a man, but that just is deprived of his free will. That just like says, okay, I don't want to be, a man anymore. I just want to just serve God and be totally, part of Him. And whatever He says, I'm going to do. I'm not going to think twice. And it's like a program. It's like a robot. It's like something like, doesn't think of his own anymore. He just does exactly what God, tells him to do, and he refuses, his ego and his, free will or liberty or whatever, and just becomes, entirely just becomes, part of the divine. So this is what the way I believe I understood that, we see angels in Judaism. That means people that like are totally deprived of their free will, ego, and individuality, but for good, of course, not for evil.
Hey guys, I'm gonna have to drop out, but I want to say a couple things, and I'll say goodbye. Sam, when you were saying how when some people get drunk, and if they're a loving, kind person, they're maybe even more so when they're drunk versus, if they're angry and violent or whatever before they're drunk. If they get drunk, they're maybe even more. And it's just an old funny analogy from my teaching days is that, people say money is the root of all evil. I think the scripture actually says it's the love of money that's the root of all evil. But money kind of makes you more of who you already are. If you're,
Agreed.
If you're an asshole before you have money, and then you make a bunch of money, you're just a bigger asshole.
Yes. You're a rich one. That's all you are.
And then Psychedelic used the word bombardment a few minutes ago. We're constantly bombarded with bullshit every day from this realm, from billboards on the highway, news, or the radio, even to the T-shirts you see people wearing when you're walking down the street. I mean, our minds are bombarded all the time with bullshit from this realm. And an old mentor, coach of mine, I'm going back, 2005, so 20 years going back. He taught me to practice what he calls creative bombardment of the subconscious, where you're constantly, consciously choosing to bombard your brain with what you want to think about instead of what you don't want to think about. Because a lot of the bombardment we get from the system, from the realm, from the matrix is not stuff that's for our benefit. It's not for our good. It's not for joy. It's not for peace. It's bullshit. But if we can get more aware or more conscious of the thoughts that we're thinking, and consciously choose those thoughts repetitively again and again and again, like it kind of change some of the mental habits. And the sad thing is, most people are not even aware that they have an internal dialogue going on in their heads. They're such victims of their own mind, and they're victims of this bombardment from the system. But if people can become more aware of the thoughts they're thinking and consciously choose their thoughts and get into a habit of thinking about what you want versus what you don't want, it's a whole lot easier to create that in your life. And that same coach told me that, you know, Keith, there's two types of people. There's creative people and reactive people. So if you choose your thoughts, you can create your life. If you let someone else choose your thoughts for you, you're going to live a very reactive. But on a higher level, maybe, or deeper level, however you want to say it, there's really only one type of person, and that is a creative person. Some people are just conscious of the life they're creating. Other people are unconscious of the life that they're creating, even a life that they don't like or don't want. It's suffering and misery and pain and problems and stress. But ultimately, we are creators. And the way we create is by the thoughts that we hold in our mind consistently, the words that we speak out of our mouth, and then the actions that we take consistently. So for whatever it's worth, you know, I try my best. I'm not a master by any means, but I try, or I practice being more of a creative person consciously, where I'm choosing my thoughts, choosing my words, and choosing my consistent actions. So love you guys. I need to dip out and get back to work, and I'll check you again real soon.
Thanks, Aloha. I love that, man.
Aloha, aloha.
Aloha.
Have a good night, bro.
Take care, brother. Man, I really love what he just said, because he nailed it on the dot. Like, and I've been realizing this even just like recently in the past couple weeks. Like, I can just so totally tell, dude, that like I'm where I'm at, like mentally, and when I come around like some of my family members or people in like my regular everyday life, you can just tell that they are reactive type of people, that they are basically just it's they're not really creative. They're kind of waking up every day and they're dealing with what it is that they have. They're not really trying to make a difference. They're not really trying to do any research or learn about the inner truth of you know, the human condition or the human mind. And you can just really tell, and it's kind of annoying to me actually to be around those people and to see that I don't really resonate with that. And I'm trying to be around like you guys, like higher thinkers, you know, like transcendental thinkers. And it's really true that there's so many people out there, and I think it is an issue. You know, it's I feel like it's on us to really try and open the door to open up that understanding for those types of people, even though, you know, some of them I think are a lost cause. I think we just have to accept that, you know.
Well, that's a good point you know, talking about now, because you know, of course, the masses of people, you know, they're not awakened. You know, I can even consider them dead at some point, dead as human beings, because people that don't care, that don't want to understand, somehow, you know, they're losing their humanity, because I believe that man is built to understand. This is why we have a language, we have a writing system, we are made to evolve, to grow, to, you know, in knowledge. People that refuse that, it's somehow that just, you know, refuse the very purpose of their own existence. So my point is that, do we have to awake the entire world, or do we have at first to just assemble the best of us? That means to create ourselves an elite of people, an elite of thinkers, not to think about changing the entire, you know, masses of people, but just regrouping, you know, people that think like us, in order to form like some kind of synergy, some kind of you know, a group of thinkers, out of which, you know, will come, you know, enough light to, you know, enlighten the whole world.
I agree with you totally. I don't think you know, I've heard people talk about this. Even Terence McKenna talked about this. I don't think it's our responsibility to wake the whole entire world up. I don't think that, you know, that's such a humongous responsibility. I think we should just lead by example. We have come to the point in our lives where we've realized what we realize, and if we just lead by example and just create how we want to create and set by example, then we will just attract the ones who are ready. And I feel like that may take up to the end of our life, but I feel like it's an ongoing, continuous process that will continue to unfold even after the years that we're gone. And I feel like that's part of what we're here for, is to just contribute to that, and to just do our part and lead by example. And I feel like that is just the direction that the creator wants us to move towards, because we're not perfect, but we work towards perfection and trying to just do the best we can. And I think the ones who are ready are going to start asking the questions and are going to want to get on board, with everything that we try to explain.
That's it. It's, we cannot change the world. Nevertheless, it should be our goal to change everything in the entire world. However, it has to be done by step. At that point, I don't believe we are able to convince a few billions of people that we're right. But first of all, if we could just like gather again, like a group of people, just like they've done on the other side. What did they do? They created elites of people. They created private circles, private brotherhood, secret brotherhoods, and then they just gathered people together. They just succeeded into bonding them together very
Sam,
yes.
Sam, the problem is, even the flat earth community lots of them are purposely being lost.
Yes, I agree.
All right, so it's a lost cause for many, brother. We have to see our own progress and our own understanding, right? Instead of being lost and just having entertainment of throwing around. I just don't even want to go in tonight's podcast about what the hell is happening right now. So let them be. It's their own natural process of going. We have to understand and learn about our realm more than these people want us to know, whatever mean it is. Right? Not everybody can go beyond Antarctica physically, or many other way, or any other way possible. Right? So
you're saying that we are on a mission of exploration for now. We have to content ourselves just to explore, first of all, to discover our realm, and then I agree. Also, it's also maybe a step.
And we were sharing about Antarctica and images and footage, and we're going to continue with that. But this podcast is why it's different, is because it's another method of understanding this realm, and I thought it would be awesome to share with you all, right, that what are the possibilities, right? Just, and before we continue, RG, are you there? Did you say hello? What's up?
Welcome, RG.
What's up, RG?
Yeah, hey, blessings, everyone. Thanks for hosting, Vikka. I'm a little under the weather, man, but I'm here to recharge my soul. This is my daily dose of insight, I guess you would say. So I appreciate it, guys. If I could just bounce off of what Psych was saying, what you guys are all alluding to at the moment, Vikka, if you're cool with that.
Go ahead, bro.
Awesome, man. Wow, yeah, being in a wheelchair, I tell you, man, you have to face some demons, and you definitely have to take your time with trying to understand completely. Anyway, there's bits and pieces of understanding along the way, and then there's like these massive insights that you get and downloads and syncretisms, syncretisms. I guess that's how you say it. But anyway, man. So, yeah. So I'm thinking. I think about it sometimes mathematically, and when you go through math and your teacher teaches you to reverse everything at the end, to double check your work. And I'm thinking, if some of these people like Einstein or whatever, and they come up with these short equations, and trust me, I'm gonna land the plane soon. But what he taught me was, if anything, we try to swipe them under the rug a little bit, but energy is equal to the mass of something times its the speed of light. So they say. So I think matter, the density of our bodies, the density of materials we call solids, right, can be also equal to the total energy of that stored energy divided by the speed of light. And you see that as things speed up, right, your spirit or your energy, the less dense things would get until, you know, it's just pure energy. So I think about it like that, in a way that, you know, the more on a daily that we die, that we give up with this denseness in these solid bodies, the more we die each day. If we get used to dying just a little bit each day of our ego, trust me, brother, you'll get to where you need to be, and that message will get to where it needs to go. You know, I think so. That's kind of my 2 cents in it.
Absolutely, brother. We die and reborn every day. The cycle of the sun shows that it rises, it's in its glory, and it sets, and the cycle of life and death continues every day.
Yeah, brother, for sure. I agree. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. I mean, it's so destructive to a societal way, you know, of life, that something new can be born out of it, you know. And I don't like the way society's going. I don't agree with how things are just okay with people, like Psych was saying, Psychedelic was saying, you know, it's just like people are walking dead, like on a different way, kind of dead, like you know, emotionally, all that. I mean, I've been there, bro. I get it. It is something along the way to enlightenment. But I mean, if no one speaks up for the masses, or you know, start with yourself, of course, but if no one is pointing these things out, bro, everyone is going to continue to pull each other into these black holes, man, that you can never come out of, it seems like. And people are getting closer and closer to that kind of stage. And I know this isn't the podcast to say and point out these kind of things, maybe, I don't know, but if it is the time, I'm with Sam. Like, let's team up, man. Let's make a difference, you know.
Yeah, being here and sharing those soundbite, if you want to call it, that it goes into the algorithm electrically, and when these words and sounds goes in the ether, it's doing its work. We have, because we had it in our mind, right, and we thought, and then we speak, right, and then we become more below, we do with the 2 hands, right, it all goes in the order.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, if I could say this soundbite, purposefully do something good each day for each other, for yourself. Build yourself up, man, for sure.
Oh yeah. So this is the thing. Apart from all the amazing videos and research and documentaries and all this whole saga of flat Earth, and everybody's doing their own thing in trying to understand this realm, right? So here we have a possibilities of understanding the realm in other ways too, apart from all that amazing research from all these years. Here you have an option, a possibilities of understanding a realm from a different perspective, or possibilities for which the majority think that it's impossible to see what exists. Because as I said, not just because what your 2 eyes can see is the only thing that exists. Once we understand that we are not material, maybe we start protecting this earth. Maybe we start becoming more harmonic as a collective, as a human race. Right? Maybe that is the real salvation, is to understand that we are part of the fractal. Right? There is no definition in words that I could put in, because it's undefinable, right? We are trying to put the creator into something, in a physical thing that intelligent design cannot, because it's undefinable, just because we think it is.
Yeah, bro. It's almost like like the creator of this realm wants to be known. You know, it's almost like the creator is speaking through us in such a way to where we are expressing ourselves, expressing that divinity through ourselves in such a way to where the divine is known. I think that's really what it is. The place that we live should be treated almost like like an organism with feelings, like how you said, but it can't be defined. It's so macro, but it wants to be known, it wants to be heard. And I feel like it all ties into the fact that we're moving into this age of Aquarius, that we're moving into this little transition zone where people are coming out of their amnesia state where we've been in for so long, that certain people are being chosen to represent that shift towards a more holistic understanding, a more inclusive understanding of what the human experience is actually meant to be. And it's encouraging, I think, a more feministic approach to life, more caring, more encouraging, more self-reflection, rather than before it was more of a dominator type of attitude, exploitation, destruction. This shift is going on, and I feel like and I think psychedelics play into that. I think the psychedelics help that shift to happen. It will encourage people to change their behavior. It compels them to think in new ways. It compels them to see deeper into the reality, to see that there is a spirit in the place that we live. There's a higher macro spirit, that we are the smaller micro fraction of that spirit, and that we will have these aspirations to think that way. And Terence McKenna put it this way. He said that a lot of the chaos that we go through is necessary in order for these shifts to take place. He called it like a birthing process. We have to go through all the pain and agony and all of the confusion in order to get over the hump of what's over the horizon, of what's to come. And I think that altogether is a psychedelic experience. I think that's really what these transitions are about. I think that those are necessary, even those painful events that are taking place even right now, what's going on in the world.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. That this is it's the cleaning first, right? The medicines, what it does is like it's gonna clean us first with all the energy and emotions we have before, right? These kind of connections or contact is you're trying to make with the divine is, you have to clean yourself first, and it's a process, right? So once it's clean and all the energy channels are open, then start coming the wisdom. It's not just like anybody's piece of it. That's why it has to put to the fire. You have to put yourself to the fire. Things don't come just easy. Things just don't fall in people's lap, right? So there's a lot of dedication and I don't know how is in the word English, valiente in Spanish, right? It's like you need to have that, right? Because in the end, you are doing it for a cause. Maybe in the time you don't know that that's a cause, but it just happens, right? Because you want to bring some of that astral divine light down here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, guys, I've been looking for some good shrooms for the longest, but anyway, I've had a couple of psychedelic experiences when I was when I was more awake at that point in my life. Yeah, for sure. I mean, and like you said, there's a word for it, but it's almost like something is your channel. Like I hate to use the word channeling, but it's like, something is speaking through you for a cause. It's not just because you want to speak and have some slick response really quick, right? It takes time. It takes years, and usually, people that are mid-30s and up are going to be your best bet to get good advice from, right? Or somebody that has kids or has been married for a while, that is more spiritually in tuned, and that's kind of where I was leading with this statement was, the cool thing about having this creator and knowing your creator is that he gave you from the start this built-in spiritual technology, bro. It gets activated at some point if you've been through enough things or seen enough beauty, like in nature, or like at some point it just clicks and it's like that light switch goes off and you're like, okay, now I get it, right? But go ahead, guys.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. It's exactly like that, and I feel like I think it happens to so unexpectedly to people who are not even really expecting it at all. That's how it happened for me. I think it just comes with certain conditions, certain foundations, the right mindset, going through certain negative experiences that leads a person to want to go in the right direction and go down the right pathway, and that leads to eating healthier, treating people with more respect, learning and doing their research, trying to learn what all of these ancient cultures and the civilizations were teaching, making the connections, realizing the syncretisms, looking up at the sky, looking at the heavens, and correlating them with what's going on down here on Earth, as above, so below. And realizing all of those things and boxing it all into one simple understanding, I think takes a lot. It happens over many years, but the realization can happen in the snap of a finger. It takes a person to realize all that, and then to go down that path and to incorporate it, and to talk to the like-minded people, and to find the right people who are on that same frequency, to be able to share the same feelings and the same expressions as you're feeling. And I feel like it's all coming together. I feel like it's becoming more and more unified now that we're moving closer into this age of Aquarius, and as the planets are aligning, as we're seeing all of these amazing events happen in the sky, along with all of the crazy, chaotic things that are happening in the human world. I think it takes a person to put it all together and say, okay, all of this is actually supposed to take place. All of this is actually coming and happening the way that it should. And you basically see that you got to go through the tough times and the troublesome, strugglesome times to receive the positive, bright light on the other side. And it's remarkable. It's really remarkable.
Well, you know what the way I see it, just like RG said before, what I also said, we can consider ourselves or the people around as dead. If we don't want to understand, if we don't care about understanding and everything. So that means that somehow I think we're living what is called in the Bible the resurrection of the dead. I believe that we are the dead people. Today we are the ones that have to be resurrected. That means we're talking here about an awakening of mankind, and this is what we are living. So I believe this is that's the point. We as soon as we realize that, in fact, in this reality, we are the dead ones. so that can help us understanding different things. That changes everything.
And this is the thing, right, about the alignment, right? Maybe it's the reason, as psychedelic is saying, that is happening because of the alignment. And that's true, because this alignment, for example, was more special because it happens every 300 years, right? There are alignment which happen every 70 years or something, but this one is every 300 years, right? So the luminaries plays a part, right? It just happened that this voyage was scheduled on that day, not because of knowing that there was an alignment. That was the day was scheduled even before knowing the alignment. It just happened to be an alignment and a new moon, right? So
What
it was
alignment?
So
What
the
the
alignment of
alignment
the
schedule,
luminaries.
dude. The alignment scheduled it for you, Vikka. I think that's what happened, bro.
Yo, not only that, also Vico, because I learned recently about the 30-year metonic cycle of the moon is also taking place this year as well. So that's also another cycle that's being incorporated into that as well. That
Exactly. And the new moon, brother, and then the new moon, normally the people are not going to take this kind of initiative, especially on a new moon, because it's one of the most, right, darkest part of the luminary, at least of this realm, right? So many are going to think 20 times. If it's a full moon, no problem. Any other thing, no problem. But on a new moon, not many go for it. And this just happened. And I had to take that step because of that alignment, right? And man, it was amplified thousands of times, right? I
I
just should
was going
say
to ask you,
this.
brother. I just wanted to ask a little detail. I mean, do you mind sharing, or if it's too personal, it's all good. But how how um how has it been making you feel and stuff lately? Because obviously you're doing something a little out of the normal with this, right? With this live. So tell us a little bit, man.
Yeah, like what exactly? Because this is the thing, right? It's not nothing new that I've been doing this, right? It's been from a very long time. It's just because now I don't know. It's just natural that I want the people to know what I am experiencing, because I've been experiencing
Okay.
things from a while, right? But especially now
Hmm.
with the flat earth, like I've got a more focus of understanding the realm specifically, right? So as I said, for me,
Right.
this is all a technology and a tool by the creator, explaining how the memory of the mycelium and different plants stores what the civilization and whatever has passed by or whatever
Okay.
exists, right? So it's
Yeah.
almost
Yeah.
like connecting with as a way of tool and going on
Hmm.
frequencies that you can be a part of it, right? And you can visit or be there or whatever you want to call it, or visions or whatever you want to call it, right?
Yeah.
And it's not just a
So,
chaotic vision or something like that, right?
mhm.
Maybe it's in a bit it starts like that because it's the enter, right? But
Mhm.
things go, and this is the thing, the best part is this works as a technology, as I said, right? Atlantis,
Yeah.
right? Then we have the Asgard, right? Also different cosmology, as I mentioned before also, right? So they all are
Mhm.
these are not mythical places, right? These are just higher realms, right? What I'm bringing here is not that because we spoke about flat earth, we spoke about Antarctica, we are speaking about, right, all cosmology, we speaks about these different realms below and
Mhm.
above, even in the Bible, seven heavens, right? I don't know, maybe this planetary alignment, because of that planetary alignment, it was just a very special argument that the doors were open, the keys were open, because it was all lined up.
Mhm.
And I had this focus that I want to take advantage that I've been doing this, right? And it's not that I'm doing one time a year, right? Gene might know and psychedelic might know that I'm not that doing these visits every day, because it's not possible, right? Maybe you do it two or
Right.
three
Right.
times or two times a year. It's a special occasion, right? Because you're not there to like just have a good time, or you're there to learn, to understand, to visit, to bring, right? You're not there just for fun, right? Because these things don't work when you take it as fun things, right? These medicines you have to do by yourself in the right setting, in the right way. If not, these can give you a really hard time. That's why we're saying this is just for education purpose only and research,
Right. Yes.
right? So
I agree. I agree.
go ahead.
Yeah, man. I controlled time one time. Um, not joking. I'm dead serious. Um, I rewound what I was watching without touching my controller, and then I asked a question, and the guy looked straight at me. Man, he answered me. I swear, like
That's great.
it was on TV. It was on TV. But I asked it about the weather. Right? I was like, dude, is it gonna rain tomorrow? He looked straight at me. He said, Russell, it's gonna pour. And I was like, what? And I just, my eyes got really wide, and I'm like, I told my son the next day. I was like, I swear, man, the TV. I used my mind to rewind it. Oh man, it was the best time. And then this was the year that I don't know if y'all know Mac Miller, but Mac Miller did a song called Surf. Yeah, do some mushrooms and watch that video. But anyway, I'll leave it there. I'll leave it.
Now, the TV thing is really cool because, it makes you wonder if it is just in your mind, like you're really interacting with things, and now they're interacting back with you. It's strange, and we don't have the adequate vocabulary to describe these worlds, guys. You got to do things for yourself. Experience is usually the best teacher, from what I understand.
Oh yeah, absolutely, bro. You guys remember Dave Weiss had a guy on his podcast named Darius who was speaking about different realms and everything. You think that guys making things up? No, because it's possible.
Yeah, because
I don't.
it's the
Go
brain
ahead.
is the receiver. The brain is basically um, when you
The tuner tuning in, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
the scrambler.
stepping out of the mind.
Yeah.
These experiences is a mental attunement to these higher frequencies, and even Terence McKenna referred to the mind itself could be almost like a TV or like a radio itself, with and the brain acts as the antenna to be able to tune in and out of these frequencies at any given time.
that are already there. Yeah. Somebody told me about the radio that worked like that. It wasn't that the radio was beaming something straight over to like a satellite or a wire running through it. It was when it was electrified, when you plugged it into the wall, that's when it started playing, right? It had to have that ionized, and the old cathode ray tubes, they were like mercury arc rectifiers. They were just gases inside of it that were amplified by electricity, and then you just magically had this thing pop on your tube. You know what I mean? Which
Yeah,
was, it's just like pulling it out of the air, really, is what's happening.
Right, and those frequencies are right here in front of all of us right now, and without the proper equipment, you can't pick them up.
Yeah, that's wild to think about. And let me tell you guys, just one more cool story I had. So I can't use my fingers, right? I'm a quadriplegic. I can use like bend my wrist and use my biceps, right? But I tell you, man, I think it was 2 years ago on New Year's Eve. I was here at my house. I invited my nephew and one of his friends, Paul Burns, I think is his name, but he does like tattoos, he does art and music and stuff. And same here, I do music, right? So I'm sitting on the couch, I'm getting my leg tattooed out of all things, right? And I took a couple of shots. It wasn't like I was drunk, but I had my nephew's guitar in my hand, and I just set it across my lap, right? And I just started playing it. I wasn't even thinking anything about it. I wasn't looking down. I just started strumming the keys or the strings. And all of a sudden, I just had this nice little rhythm. And so I think I freestyle for probably 10 minutes easy. Right. And then my nephew was like, bro, he was like, you're doing great, man. He was like, dude, keep that up. Right. And I was like, yeah, man, y'all feel that? Y'all feel the vibrations. Right. And I'm sitting there moving my hand, bro. And the whole time I looked down and I wasn't even touching the strings. I wasn't even playing the guitar. But in my head, it was like an orchestra, man. And that's the power of the mind, right? And that's a true story.
You
I know
that
it's kind of weird, but true story.
Mozart was deaf, Mozart, the
Yeah,
big musician,
composer.
Yeah.
composer. So we don't know. We are like it's like we're in a journey, and we like just starting to see the horizon. We're starting to see like a little bit things. It's not, we don't have the whole picture yet. We don't understand it all, but we know that we're going somewhere, and it's very attractive. But it's interesting. I'm just listening to you guys. It's great. It's great. I love it.
You guys hear me?
Can hear you. Yeah. Talk.
Alrighty. I thought I was thrown out.
No, you're good.
No.
You're good.
All right. So this is the thing, right? As a psychologist was mentioning before, right? If you know the possibilities of these things are possible, and with time you get more skillful, it's crazy. It's crazy, because the scientific way of explaining all these possibilities, they want to say a matrix, a simulation. It's just another way these people want to put it scientifically, right? But that's the spiritual thing, right? They want to call it in a very matrix thing. That's not the case.
Man, you know what I think is beautiful, bro, is the way the wording is in the Bible that God spoke things into existence, right? And you think about that, that's just a sound, right? Those are different frequencies put together. And I think literally, if you guys turn off all the lights and you open your eyes, you still see this static electricity everywhere. I mean, I do anyway. It looks like glitter almost. And anybody can do this at any time. Just get in a really, really dark area, open your eyes, and there's light everywhere. So I do think it's a remnant of what the Creator spoke, and we are still here in this soup of vibration. You think about it, the sun, when it's in the Tropic of Cancer and it's doing its little loop in the north, right? It's faster and it's quicker. The wavelength, there's some kind of sine wave that is keeping that transformer up there heated, right? And I think it's being brought in from some other dimension. But I do think that when it goes in the Tropic of Capricorn, it's a longer sine wave, right? Something's keeping that thing in tune. And it's some
bro.
kind of
This is the thing, as you say, it's amazing that the sound is really important, because what is happening, the sound is really important when you are connecting here. If you see all the cosmology, all the people, they have their own trance way of connecting. Sound is important because sound is what is the medium also, in a way, of connecting with the frequency, bro. Right? That's why those chanting and drumming and whatever the people do, or clapping or like rocking, or right? It's a way of connecting, because it's the sound. Absolutely, bro.
Yeah, when about the trance or the drums or music, that see, I'm Cherokee Indian heritage, right? And they say that the old medicine men and the villagers, like the elders, would gather in a tent with a man that was about to pass away, and the guy, they would start drumming and just all be in sync, drum, 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 drum for hours and hours. and they're told that when they finally fall asleep to go on to where it is they go, the way they get to where they're supposed to go is following the sounds of the drums. I think that's amazing. That's like a story that what other culture does that, you know? But it's like a rhythm, you know, life is a rhythm. Death
Exactly,
even
because
maybe death.
some people say they can see the sound, bro. Right? It's the
What?
formation of the world, right? You heard us saying, yeah,
Yes,
go
of
ahead.
course. It's in the Torah. It's in the Mount Sinai. I don't know how you say it. They saw the sound. It is written textually that the people of Israel, they saw the sound. They saw the sound. So that there's a lot of discussions about this. Like, how can we see a sound? So it is
But
mentioned.
I see
It is
that.
mentioned.
Yeah, I see that frequency. Whatever frequency I see right now, I'm looking at a solid color wall and it's silvery, reddish, and blue. It's everywhere. I even told I was on a podcast the other night with dang it, Ironworks Vlad, and he tried it himself and he said that one eye he could see more potent than the other, but like a red and blue shimmery kind of color. I think everybody can see it. We just don't pay attention to it, you know?
Well, that's
Oh yeah,
interesting
and then
because
the sound. Yeah, go ahead, Sam.
no, it's okay. Go ahead. It's, just
Like sound is the sacred geometry, the cymatics, the vibrations is telling us what it is. It's the intelligent design, right? That's the way universe communicate in sacred geometry.
if
Yeah, right.
colors are like
That's
sounds.
like
If you
when they put this a plate, like a steel plate on a barrel, and then they take like a violin bow, and well, you got to put sand on the plate, and then you take the violin bow and
Yeah,
changes the frequency.
schematic.
It's like, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it's sound
And
visualized.
it's very
Cool.
symmetrical as well when you hit key
Yeah,
frequencies. So
yeah, beautiful
snowflakes are like that.
patterns.
So imagine
What else
where you
can we
can
think of?
reach. Exactly.
What else can we think of? Oh yeah, tinnitus. You know, when people talk about tinnitus is a ringing in the ears. I think if you try to pay attention, you can hear your own frequency. You are being tuned in from somewhere because I have tinnitus bad in my ears. I hear a ringing all the time, very high pitched. And if you really try to hear it in your ear, you'll hear it.
Interesting.
Yeah, so
And
that's
if
my theory. I
anybody,
think we're all an individual frequency, but different. You know, and yeah,
oh yeah,
We all
guys,
have.
anybody wants to join the panel? There's a link above somewhere in the chat. Anybody can join us if you want to add something related to this. Yep. Go ahead, Gene.
Yeah, come on up,
Psychedelic.
guys. Let's hear your stories. I definitely like to see how people are relating to this.
yeah. Don't let a guy in a wheelchair like do you in, man. Come on up.
look,
Yeah.
actually, here in that chat, we can see the sound. Every time I speak, there's like a little halo of
Right.
You know, to
we have.
bridge off of that, RJ, I really like what you said, you know, because when we think of that in that perspective about the human body, that our bodily function on a microcellular protein level, on a frequency understanding, is that, you know, the building blocks of our whole body are basically, you know, like the proteins, the lipids, the enzymes, the carbohydrates, and the amino acids, and all of those are arranged in such a way, in such an intelligent, creative type of way, to where it connects us to the frequency of the planet, the oneness of the planet. And it's just really, I just really like how you put that. And you know, because when you think of the human body, we have our circadian rhythms, which is a rhythm, which is a frequency.
Yeah,
And I think that those rhythms are, in a way, connected and also dictated by the movement of the sun and the moon, and by extension of that, the solar frequencies that we receive through the sun, is playing a role in many of the biochemical, the neurological, and the physiological processes that take place in our body. And I think that ties into, the frequency of the food that we eat, because food and nutrition has frequency. So our nutritional intake is also tied into the rhythm and the metabolism and the frequency of how our eating process is, which is another frequency, another rhythm, and so when you look at it like this, you see all of these different rhythms that basically our lives are revolved around, and it's just this one huge frequency when you see it from that perspective. And I think that that's just really amazing to put it that way. And you can start, a person can start to see how all of these different aspects of our lives, and down to how often we eat, these are all frequencies.
Right. How effective, how much energy your food is giving your digestive tract to get rid of waste. And you're right. The micro scale, the quantum scale, we're looking at billions of oscillations per protein or pure molecule, per pure cell, right? And you could have billions of oscillations in something that small, but then after it replicates, your whole entire system of a cell might be only in tune 7.83 hertz, like the Schumann resonance, right? So they're all individual sounds producing your individual sound as a whole organism, and then fractalized, stepping it up to the whole system, right? And on and on. Yeah. And you blew my mind, psychedelic, the other day when you talked about layers, and Vikka seconded that. Like, that made me think about how it, as you zoom in or zoom out, you're getting at some point the whole system again, and then starting over. So it's beautiful like that, man. It's a dance.
Oh yeah, brother, in every direction. In every direction, the layers, right? It's going on.
It's just we can't see some. They're actually there, but they're not. Right?
Exactly.
And that
That is
could
the
be a
reason.
paradox to some people, but it's beautiful to me. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is the reason some people think, they speak about barriers, right? These barriers might not be just physical too, right? Some kind of technology or the magnetic fields that we don't have the DNA to cross that, and maybe this is what some of the ways the psychonauts use to break this barrier.
Yeah,
Right?
and hey, even some of the best psychics or prophets over the years, can go outside of themselves to be shown what is out there. Like, I love the analogy that we're set upon pillars, right? Think about square and the circle. If we were the outer southern boundary, were set upon four equilateral from each other, like quadrupole or something, like four, like a stool, like God's footstool. Like, these prophets were sent outside of themselves to talk about even what the pillars looked like. I mean, that's amazing to me, man.
It could be a trunk of a tree.
Or the trunk of an
The
elephant. Hey.
trees.
Or the back of a turtle. Hey, you never know.
Yeah, it's amazing, right? It's the sound, the frequency, right? The lower we vibrate on a lower frequency, the denser we are, right? So the higher we vibrate, the lighter or the real form we are. So there's a possibility to have that not everybody, but there's a possibility to have that instant change of frequency to different ways of becoming light, right? As I said, Enoch didn't
Yes.
physically go
Yes.
there. Enoch was not having hallucination. There were visions, right? Many other.
Yes.
In every cosmology is about that. Right? Why?
Yeah.
As I mentioned, I don't want to go in again about why, about the hallucination and vision, the difference, right? It's a way
Mhm.
of accessing things. It's just a possibility. It's just because the people don't understand that it's possible to reach on a frequency. The same way when we dial on a radio, we have different frequency for different channels, right? So it's the same way, right? You
Mhm.
could go to on a frequency. I'm
Mhm.
just speaking about in a technological way, but take it in a spiritual way, right? By the creator's mean.
Mhm.
These things are there because it's there for a reason. As I said, it's not for everybody, but it's there, right? So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Think about this, brother. The what you're saying and ties into what psychedelic was saying about layers on layers, and then cymatics. If you think about it, our inner light body, right? Maybe we just tune in at certain points of what's called light geometry. Now, this is when snowflakes freeze at that point, right? That's when that's an analogy like when the sperm cell hits the egg, right? The female egg, there's a flash of light. That's your plasma body. That's your beginning stage of tapping into what God already made for you, right? I call it light geometry, man. I think there's
Exactly.
like radio frequencies, microwaves, like once they hit a certain key tone, they form something, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. The
I think,
DNA strand, brother.
yeah.
The DNA strand is
Mhm.
totally spiral. It's sacred geometry. Exactly. Go ahead, psychedelic bro.
Yeah, and I was just gonna branch off that, going back to what we were saying about earlier, Vika, even in the last podcast, and when you do those, when you tap into that at certain times of time, specifically, like for example, at the time of the planetary alignment, profound things can happen. Like these moments in time that are where the gates of the heavens are open and are accessible. That where if you tap into that at these certain times, just profound things happen, and it allows the brain to manifest itself and express itself in ways that you would never thought possible. It would allow you to be able to treat people way better than you ever thought was possible. It allows you to perceive humanity in a way that you never thought it would exist before. That's what enlightenment is all about. And I think that ties back into using, it's all tied back into using psychedelics, the as a tool, as a technology to um to speed up that process, and to allow those experiences to take place in someone's life. And if you do it at the right time, under the right conditions, it would just it would have profound effects on your life, and I just think
Bro,
it's
I've bawled my eyes out before in gratitude. No lie, I'm a grown man, but I'll tell you right now, bro, I've felt in the lap of my creator. No lie, like he's bouncing me on his knee or something, you know. But I remember that vividly, so that was special to me, man.
Yeah, this is the thing, bro. Is the thing when these things of lineup happens, and when we have the understanding and knowing that these special points and gates open at these points, and when we take advantage of that, magic could happen. This is what exactly happened yesterday, right? It just synchronized into one point, and as you say, the gates were open, and I took that advantage of, and it's crazy. It's crazy, right? It's like I want to share a lot. You guys want to question anything during? If I want to go ahead and stop me whenever you guys want, right? So out of all these amazing teachers, right, there are different teachers, right, that you can access this. So one of the teachers is called the Philosopher's Stone, right? The reason it's called a Philosopher's Stone is because that is the real Philosopher's Stone. It's not the one they want to call it changing gold into all that bullshit. These are the real philosophical stones, right? These are like, in simple words, these are like truffles, like they grow under they have connected with mycelium, right? What grows on the top is mushroom, but what grows under it's mycelium, right? And you have these like small balls, and like these are like stones, right?
It's like a
So it,
delicacy, right? In some places, very
yeah, but then you
expensive.
have the real ones, the real ones, right? You get what I'm saying,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah. Okay.
The magic ones, right? The real, where it's all about the information that connects with all this plant technology, because it's all is a whole organism, right? So these philosopher's stones comes from different places, and as I said, these philosopher's stones store that information of whatever had passed and whatever exists, right? So if you could reach to one level where you can become so skillful that you can literally take from different places and visit these places, right? So it all boiled down to that. My experience of doing this and being more focused on special things and this alignment helped me to get to this, because this is not my first rodeo, right?
Hey, bro,
So
at those places you're talking about, real quick, I think there's magic midgets that live there in these little hidden doors, so to say. And my nurse turned into one time, and when she was helping me, and I was confused, right? Dead serious. I was confused. It was like she was shimmering. She was like um she was more triangular to say, but when she left, dude, I was depressed for like at least 10 hours, like super depressed, because I thought um I was never going to get to talk to her again. I know it sounds weird, but anyway, it's hard to explain sometimes. But go
No,
ahead.
you're good, man.
well, yeah, pareidolia, right? Pareidolia in nature is also a way of communicating the other dimensions. If the people have eyes to see, so only static, even mountains, even the minerals, the trees, everything is communicating with you. Only if you have the eyes to see. But until you don't see it that in the real form, you're not going to see that you had this always in front of your eyes. See anything at micro level, a leaf, a flower, a plant, the cosmos, micro level to the man. The design, the stamp of the divine is there.
Magic midgets too. Don't forget them. Yep.
Oh yeah, everything. These are not, people aren't making shit up, right? Every cosmology have their own things. Is because they have their contacts and connection happening. This that experiences, or when the curtain is there is very thin. The layer is very thin. It's not so dense to not surpass or see things, right? Mythology. It's not only about mythology. All cosmologies have, right? Whatever.
hmm
Yeah, it's just like
So I
anything.
didn't mean to throw you off, brother. Go ahead.
It's just like anything else. There, everything in reality has a duality aspect to it. You have a hard spot and a soft spot. You have an opening and a closing. There's there's always a polarity to anything, even in our human experiences. And I
There's a
like
lot of dualities in this world, bro. Right?
yeah.
Night and day, dark and light, sleep or wake, right and wrong, up and down. It's all dualities. With a few
Hey,
trialities in there
I'm
too. There's some that
trialities.
can.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's
Hey,
not.
you
It's
know what?
not
To
like
speak on that though, by location. Have y'all heard of that? It's called by location.
No,
like
what is
out of body
Um,
experience.
so, but no. The CIA studied this with people with gifts. Let's say extra attributes that it was the gifted program basically they, in elementary school, the gifted program, where they would take you out of your classroom and take you into like a white trailer outside with other kids and test you for abilities. This
Yeah.
was the post MK Ultra program. Post anyway. So they used to get people that did pass certain programs and tests that they could have like a, how do they say, a spotter in one room and you would be in the other room, and they would get you to go places and what they could see from in the Cold War satellites pictures
Remote
and get you to
viewing. It's called,
describe
yeah,
where
it's called remote
these
viewing.
people were. Yeah, remote viewing. There you go. There you go.
Right.
But I used to call it bilocation when I was in school and stuff. But yeah, bilocation is basically like your astral traveling if you're good at it. You know?
And imagine
Mhm.
without anything and just concentrating and focusing, right? A human have that possibility. So you imagine what the human can do if you
Right.
have the
And
right tools.
they did that to
Damn.
kids because the kids are closer to the spirit. They have less of the physical,
Yeah. Yep.
search for gold world, and embedded in
Mhm.
their psyche. So that a lot of the spiritual contact is still within children. I'm telling you that because I know for
Oh, the gate. There it
real.
is. The gate program. That's what it was called. To your point, but why they used kids is because they weren't as
They weren't as brainwashed. They're not as taken in by the system yet.
Now
Mhm.
you understand now the interest of all these people, like using kids,
Yeah.
kidnapping kids all over the world and everything. It's not just for like orgies. It's more. It's more.
Right. No, kids are closer to spirit. I'm telling you, I know this.
Of course. They have a lot of some kind of energy. I don't know, something that they're seeking. These people are seeking this sickening.
Oh
But,
yeah, we don't know what else is doing that to us, right? Not only I think everybody, right? Even they are playing with all this mental manipulation of the masses with everything they show on a frequency level. They're just they're working on that heart energy of fear, right? So anyway, guys, I don't want to just get in different directions. What I also wanted to mention is this is where I was going, right? So having that possibilities of doing this visit, so take it as if you guys are listening to somebody who's been somewhere and trying to explain in words what it could be, right? I cannot put everything in words about this visit, my voyage, right? As we spoke about the alienation and everything. So here, having different, you could go in different places if you can focus and you have the right tool and the right timing. You can literally access these places, right? And it's not. This is from ancient times. It's been happening, right? Right now, we are in an age that you have this as a technology to experiment in a way. All right. So with skills and time, you could reach to a point where you can go to exact places. So this voyage was supposed to be about Asgard. What is Asgard, right? It's supposed to be the
It's
Norse
something. It's
cosmology.
something you put on when gay people come around you. What? What do you? What'd you ask? An Asgard?
Yeah, you know what is
Oh
Asgard?
man, dude.
That was too much. Oh, I'm trying. So yeah, in Norse
Hey, gotcha,
in Norse,
Vika. No, I'm joking.
in Norse mythology, Asgard was the
Yeah.
higher realm because it's connected to Midgard, which is the earth in Norse mythology, cosmology.
Yeah, part of the Yggdrasil, right? Is the word is Yggdrasil, means it's trying to explain the cosmos, what it is according to the Norse cosmology, right? You have from the lower realms to the higher realms, right? So with these journeys, like, it's not like you are instantly there, right? You have to pass some barriers, right? It's not just like a piece of cake or something, right? When you are entering these dimensions, it's like you are, you know, it's not easy. So you have that impactful insight, like when you enter that, a bit of aggressiveness in a way, right? That it's, but then once you start seeing, and it's crazy, it represents the world or the realm as a huge tree. We are speaking about giant trees, right? We're not speaking about one tree of life in the middle. They have done their work to show that Yggdrasil, with different levels, with their Niflheim, Midgard, Asgard, right? Just a simple drawing.
Mhm.
Imagine that millions of times big, right? And you're having different realms in the branches in different levels, right? You can go from the lowest to the darkest worlds, from below the trees to the highest,
I have a
right?
question, Vika.
Go
Vika,
ahead.
I know there's a lot of kind of energies that tie into this realm, right? Has anyone ever seen the real North Pole and where the aurora borealis comes from, like real video footage? It,
I've
it's beautiful.
seen a couple of videos on it. I've seen some clips where there's people flying around it. I don't know how authentic it is.
Mhm.
From what I understand, no one actually can it's not accessible because
Right,
it's the actual center of the toroidal hyperbola.
right. Yes, 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 yes. The reason I ask is because if nobody knows, they crashed the Mir space station into the ocean in the late 80s, early 90s, I think, because that was its original task, was to circle the North Pole like really high. But
Right.
anyway, I'll shush. But it was beautiful, man. It was green and orange like fog down in a big deep hole. It was cool.
That is only our part of the level of the trees, right? You guys cannot imagine how huge the giant trees in many cosmologies, the giants, the titans, the dragons. Guys, it's
Oh,
like,
you're speaking my language now. Come on with it. Come
Yeah,
on.
there's many people who speculate that we live on a tree, that and you can't think of like this like the trunk would you can't think of it as like something physical. You have to think of it as like a cosmic invisible energy that is the trunk of the tree that we live on. You have to expand your mind on this. I love talking about this because
Mhm,
you have to kind of speculate, because when you, and like how you were saying, RG, the middle, where
mhm,
the middle toroidal hyperbola is, that is where
mhm,
the tree trunk would come out, and the North Pole is where our realm would be extending out from, and that's the level
mhm.
of the tree that we're on. It's really remarkable when you think about it.
Yes, it is beautiful, and I think in Asgard mythology, the Rainbow Bridge, and like that movie Thor, I think that's our aurora borealis, and somehow if you can tap into that frequency, you can go to the Asgard, maybe. You know, for sure. I think that.
oh yeah, oh yeah. It's like you have to start from the below, from the darker realms, from below the roots, right? You have the more level, below levels. We are in the mid, and these are the higher realms. And this is not just one place, like a small place. This whole, every part is like huge. Midgard is huge, with so many different races and beings and animals and nature, that you cannot put it in words, guys. Like, you can see the skies. In some places you don't see the skies. There are cities hanging and construction that you cannot even explain, right? Holy shit. It's like that are part of the trees, in some part, one branch could hold the whole realm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bro, were you inside or outside for most of this?
I was going through my journey. Started from below, right? I had to. It's like it was like almost I was in a Ragnarok. Ragnarok. I didn't even see the freaking movies, right? I just
Mhm.
know about Norse cosmology, about the tree, and I just know that a bit about the Garden of Odin, right? It's the same thing like Garden of Eden.
Yeah.
Guys, it's huge trees and branches of worlds and realms and beings. And so from below to all the way up, the higher you are going to Asgard, it's like all the divinely beings, guys. It's like I started, and when the journey started, it's like almost I had automatically like I had a axe in my hand, or a freaking hammer. I don't know. And I was just had to go slashing in parts to go ahead,
Wow.
right? Dragons, snakes, creatures, beings, right? And the more darker it used to get, you used to reach places that were mind blowing, different levels until you go to Midgard and then all the way to Asgard. So I'm speaking about beings with wings, beings with, guys, wings that are spreading. Just the imagine just one part of that trunk in one of the realms is just beings with
Mm-hmm.
huge, like humanoids with huge wings, like
Wow.
hundreds
Yeah.
of meters wings, just floating there around the trees,
I,
guys.
I have,
Yeah, that would be
I have,
amazing.
I have,
That would
I
be
have a
amazing.
question for you, Vika. In these journeys there, do you hear sound or do you just see things? It's just like visual or
Yeah,
also
it's visual because the sound is the sound that you are the trance or the music or the drumming, whatever. That's just a way of connecting to this frequency. So you don't see sound, but yeah, you see many things. You don't see sounds. You see sounds. Like, you know what I mean? You see it because that sound is what is creating and taking you to those frequencies,
but you
right?
don't
So
you
the
don't hear
sound changes. What?
you don't hear anything, right? Just see things, whatever it is. Because it's the
Oh
same
yeah.
thing with me. I didn't hear nothing. I just see. It's
No,
in
it's only
silence.
seeing. Yeah, because it's you
Y'all can't.
might hear, you might sometime depend on the level of contact it is that you can hear things sometimes, right? Which is not there, right? But this is not this time it was. It's mostly it's about seeing and
Yeah.
I could always talk like it was the conversations were always out of my control, but it was like a response thing. Hey, and the old trees in the old stories before the Bible, like Job time, when God sent the angels to cut down the trees, right? And we see it all around this realm, this part, right? The smaller trees, I think, but the world trees that you're speaking of, guys. If you don't know, if you're not into like a biblical trees much, the stories, um, what we find now is when we dig, when we go mining, we find like gold veins and silver veins and ruby veins and jade and all these beautiful gemstones and quartz and all that. I, I, I'm pretty sure all that was running hot through the trees, and that's what animated the trees. And now that they were cut off, everything is now solid, and that's pretty easily proven, especially when people keep up with the tree part and the bark and all that, and they can cut into it and find the same kind of veins, but in the parts of the tree that aren't underground, which is hard to imagine, but I'm pretty sure that's how
yeah, it's
uh,
like almost like you
the
imagine
silica, like we're
exactly.
carbon
It's
based, but everything
the
else is
sea.
silica. Yeah.
Yeah, it's also even holding the seas and everything that exists, all the soil, the minerals, everything, right? So
Wow.
only one part of the tree could be like so expanded. So the possibilities is crazy, guys. It's like every part of that, even from Midgard, there is so many sections of the Midgards, right? The fauna, the flora,
Bet.
yeah, the beings. And it's not only just trees and only like very organic
Don't
like
forget the
into the
magic
nature,
midgets.
right? It's
You know,
every part.
they're
You have the
important.
most you have the organic part, you have the more technological part, you have the more godly part, right? You know, different branches.
The
Like,
mechanical realm. Ah, I know somebody wrote that.
oh yeah, I know, guys. It's very difficult for to believe if somebody's saying like this, but right, I
No,
cannot
no,
even put
I'm joking
I
with you.
cannot even put it in words, guys. Right? I'm just trying to put it however I can. Right? Depends how if you guys have any specific questions, right? Because I'm speaking about these cosmologies. The reason they have it, it's because it's their realm. It comes from that realm, right? We might be all coming from that different realms together here because we all are different cosmologies, right?
Yeah, and it's funny because you know Midgard is where it all comes together. All these different cosmologies seems to be that you know in different parts of Midgard there are all similar stories. They're not like varying. They just have different terminologies maybe and names, and that's about it. But everything's pretty much in line. You know.
Very similar throughout, which is really cool. It reminds me of like an evolution kind of thing, how, you know, different animals and the similarities really to me shows a common creator. And sort of the stories coming from history shows a common story, a common creator, common theme. So Vika, like, what was your perception of other branches while you were there? Like, do you have like a 360 view, or is it like
For me, it was
from
more like a journey starting from below, going all the way to Asgard, right? It was almost a 6 hour experience. So you guys imagine six
nice?
hours, right?
Did it feel like it took 6 hours in normal time, or
No,
did it feel
it
stretched
felt
at
like
all?
it felt like an hour.
Wow, compressed. That's great. Yeah,
Yeah.
see,
So you
so time
imagine in
is
6 hours. Yeah. Go ahead.
the time is just so elastic.
Oh yeah, there is no
And
time, bro. This is the thing. Maybe for me it was 6 hour. I felt like 1 hour, but maybe it was
yeah, you had a good time, bro. Cool.
yeah. So it's so many things that I cannot even recollect because it's just all it's there, right? It's like you have. So what I mean is the sky we have. It's just maybe a part of the branches, which we think it's a dome, right? I'm not saying it like it, but looks like that. Trees upon trees on branches and the whole ecosystem on that,
Mm.
and it continuing up, down, and horizontal. Guys, places which looks very much like mushroom kind of world right up there, right? It's different things. It's like you have really high tech places like with technology, right? So for me, the experience was like it wasn't just like, yeah, you know, here you are in Asgard, right? So for me, the whole journey was to go from up to high, right? So you imagine in those journeys, when I say you are also passing through dark places, dragons, you're passing snakes, huge snakes everywhere, right? Crazy creatures. So you fucking, oh, sorry, guys. You're not having a great time sometimes during those 6 hours, right? You are like almost like it's automatically like you are having a weapon in the hand, and some places you are just slaying these creatures and these beings because, and then when you reach to other parts, which is freaking beyond, right? You are like gaining like next level, every level, like a freaking Crazy, guys. This is crazy. I don't know. Like, it's like,
You know, it reminds me of when you look into the Bhagavad Gita scriptures, it reminds me of the Bhumandala universe on the island of Jambudweep, and that we are on that island in the center with Mount Meru as the center axis. When you speak about these levels, Vikka, it makes me think about, you know, how underneath our world there are the 7 other planes of existence underneath, and that the planetary levels represent the heavenly world or the heavenly planes, and that it branches out, you know, like how a tree does. And it makes me think that, you know, the more that you ponder on that, the more it kind of gives support to the fact that we are living in almost like a super hyper virtual reality universe, you know, that is incomprehensible to most people. You have to really kind of ponder on this existence. But all the ancient scriptures are speaking about this. And you know, that's the one that really comes to mind is the Bhumandala universe that the Vedic Hindus were depicting, which is basically just like the Midgard and Asgard, these different realms, these different
the
levels.
Mount Meru, exactly. The Mount Meru. It's there. Same like Asgard is the highest level for their cosmologies. In Vedics, they have the Mount Meru where all the main gods live in the Vedic cosmology. Absolutely, brother. And this is the thing, the giants, right? Titans. There might be possible that some of these branches are cut so these people cannot come here or we cannot go there, right? It's absolutely possible, right? A lot exists.
You know what I like about this realm is that um that you definitely know your place in it when you're in the middle of it. Like, and I say that meaning if you go, you know, far enough south, you get to a point what they call the, you know, celestial equator, and you're 90 degrees zenith. I mean, you look up and you can see both directions, you know, are one motion, and you can see that there are 2 points, right? Now, from our perspective being so small, if you think looking up and knowing your place, you're right in the, or you feel as if you're right in the center of this rotation, this field, then, you know, you look under Ferrocell, like I'll say, the macro cosms, you know, up and down, you can see that they're pretty much the same of the middle of what we would call the magnetic flux or the oscillation of the whole, maybe. But that's what's special about this place to me, man. And I could trip all day and look at that, to be honest. If I had the choice, that'd be pretty cool to just spend all day. If it, or well, let's say all day at night. If I could do a 24-hour night somewhere and watch it rotate, that'd be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the thing. To put in simple words, like a massive, giant tree that goes all the way from below, all the way up, all the way. All the way means could be years, right? If the people might want to go physically, but it's
Well, the stars are like figs, Vika, not to interrupt you, but I think now using that analogy, at the very top, those branches might be, you know, the firmament itself, and then those are the figs that are gonna fall to the earth, maybe, if the story's repetitive, you know, maybe, who knows?
exactly, and the roots could be realms where it's more enclosed, right? And then we are here in the
Yeah,
Midgard,
yeah.
right? We
Mm-hmm.
we speak about intralands, different levels, as psychedelic one mentioning in every cosmology, up and down, right? Like I understand that for me, it's not a negative journey if I am seeing the underworld and the underrealms too. I understand that very well. right?
You know, that's
So
funny.
go ahead, Sam.
No, just go ahead. Go finish your thought. I was gonna go on the different thing, but
About
just no, just to I'm just listening to you guys talk, and also to myself talk, and I'm saying actually, flat earthers are like very spiritual. We're like very much spiritual, and we have like a hunger of
Yeah.
getting closer to the divine and to God and everything. So I'm just thinking to myself, well, if we are all like gathering together and talking about these subjects, but in the other hand we also like fighting to expose the truth about the shape of the earth and the fact it is flat, maybe our answers to all our spiritual questions, matters, are also maybe also reside into the shape of the earth. Maybe we can understand better these other realms by learning about our realm here, like how does the earth mechanisms work, like all that. Maybe it can give us some answers about the other
yeah, oh yeah, it's like
realms.
connecting the dots, Sam. We are connecting the dots. For example,
Exactly.
The Mayan cosmology, right? Psychedelic too. It shows like a tree and the branches covering like a dome,
Mm-hmm.
right? One
Wow.
cosmology, it's so different than the Norse, but it's showing the same thing. Also, like the Vedics, right? The Jambu Dweep with the tree, right? So maybe we
Mm-hmm.
were trying to connect the dots here, right?
Because look at the dome. It's something that we cannot see with the eye, but we know that it's here. So it's protecting us. Is and somehow it can reflect this realm that we're trying to reach to to that divine, that that presence that's here, that we're trying to reach, trying to see, that we don't see, but we know it's here. We feel it. So it's interesting. We can
Sam,
learn, I believe. Yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, I do think, just to add to that, if I may, there is alternate cosmology as well that I've come across and I've pondered on myself. But let me run this by you real quick.
Go ahead.
Maybe our lens, our eye being curved, that there is a possibility that you know in the Bible it talks about four corners. And I'm thinking maybe our eye is what's being square, the circle, the square in the circle, and that
Mm-hmm.
the firmament top itself may be flat, and that's why when we're at the celestial equator looking up, the absolute direction of east to west is a straight line, and then the circles form out of that, in the north and south. I think that's why maybe we see a straight line when we get to that center point, and that there's this circle like a disco ball casting all the light onto this flat firmament. That's just something I pondered on, but it's kind of hard to understand at first. But
Well,
maybe when we look up out of the circle of our eye, we're just seeing it looks like a circle up there spinning,
well,
but maybe it's the eye. But go
the
ahead.
very name, in Hebrew, the original name of firmament is rakia, which has the idea of something being flattened with a hammer. We also use that word to say, to talk about things that are being like hammered down and flattened. So the word itself, the dome itself, in the original language, has that idea of something that is flattened, that is like been like hammered down, like So that's
Yeah.
interesting. But it's
Mhm.
like
Oh, I've
it's
got I've got a I've got a
it's deep.
demonstration too how it could absolutely be positive, where their concentric circles working from the north to the south, but let's say the concentration of stars in the north, let's say the first circle at 75 degrees north would be the same amount of stars but condensed, right? As 75 degrees south, right? And as this ball projected it onto the flat surface, the number of stars from the center circles working out would be exactly the same, right? So 75 degrees south, right, negative, there would be a whole bunch of stars in that circle. Um, and there would be the same amount at 75. You see what I'm saying? Until you get to 0 degrees in the middle. You know, just a thought.
Dr. Frankenstein is saying Black Rock, Rupus Nigra Mountain. I think that's the original tree of life in the great magnetic field now before it reached the heaven. Exactly, brother. Exactly. So this is the thing. It's in our part, in our north, could be that central shaft, which is the part of the branch. It's not just the whole tree right there in the north where we have the north. Like it's just part of the tree. It's just a very small part of a trunk with all these different realms that inhabits up and down. Right?
Yeah.
For us, it's like the center of the toroidal field, which turns back. Right? The other might have their own in different realms. Go ahead, psychedelic.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing, you know, that our realm where we're at is somewhere in the middle, you know. I've heard people say it's more kind of like the basement part, but it's not the absolute bottom. There are levels underneath, but we are basically kind of like the basement, but we're kind of like the middle. And you know, when you go to the center, it's a branch off of the actual whole entire tree altogether.
That's the idea, because somehow, if we are, we understand that we live in the geocentric world, that our reality is in the center of the universe, center of everything. So maybe just an idea. Maybe our realm, our reality here, you know, flat Earth, is just a projection of all the other realms of everything else. We can understand everything by just like learning the place we're in.
Sam, this is the thing. Abraham, a branch, right? The word is there.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Abracadabra.
Oh, man, that's cool.
Abracadabra is Hebrew. It's an Hebrew, you know, thing. There's
exactly, the branch. It's there. It's, if you really look, it's there. The signs are there, guys. It's
abracadabra in Hebrew means I will speak as I speak. It's I don't know what it means exactly.
I think it says I make. Yeah, exactly.
It's I don't know.
I
just
am
like
that
the
I
name,
am. Maybe that's a play off
exactly.
of that.
Just the same idea. Yeah.
Well, so right, guys, you're talking about brain, you know, sound being so constructive. That could be why they mutated the sound frequency from 432 to 440, because those 8 little degrees are so very different that it's more of a harming frequency, and maybe that's why they distorted all the languages. And we're kind of talking gibberish to each other. Yeah, we're communicating, but we're not communicating anything that's really important to us, I don't think, except for like conversations like this.
I heard that in Israel they developed, you know, the police, or I don't know who, security forces developed some kind of a weapon, anti-demonstration weapon. That means that they have like some kind of a device. I don't know that they ever used it, but they can just like
like
diffuse a sound. Boom? Yeah, a sound. And everybody just has to leave. You just got to go. You cannot just stand the sound. Just
well,
get
you know,
out.
there's a 50-year-old bro. There's a 50-year-old interview with David Bowie talking to some guy about that.
Kidding me? See that?
No, nope. I happened to see it this week.
You see, the creation starts with a sound, and God said,
right.
So He said that's a sound. The creation starts with a word.
Yeah.
So
and that's cool.
Yeah, the higher pitch, the hotter, I think, is what you mean, Sam. Yeah.
The vortex, guys, the vortex of the electromagnetic field, the center of the toroidal field is like a tree. It goes like, it's open up like a tree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right? The roots.
I'm gonna, if you don't mind, I'll post it here in the chat for you, Vikka. The two things the Mir space station top-down view, and then I'll post the what I was speaking of about the flattened out firmament. But go ahead. Yep.
Have you ever, when I was younger, I remember I was in some pool somewhere, and I was under the water, and I was testing with my friend, like my watch. I had like a quartz type watch, and I pressed the button to hear the alarm sound, and I could hear his watch like 30 meters away very clearly under the water, much more clearly than outside. Like if we were going outside, I couldn't hear that, the sound of his watch alarm, the alarm clock on his watch. But under the water, I was hearing it just like if it was close. Like the sound is like traveling much faster within the water. So that's also interesting, because you're talking about the sound, the power of sound. And if we know that in the beginning everything was water, so the sound seems to have more, seems to travel faster, better, through water than through, the air. I don't know if you ever heard that, if you verified that. I don't know, somehow it's possible to verify it, but I checked it. I know you can
Hey,
hear much better underwater.
that's what the reason why they don't want you to mess with dolphins, man, because that sonar kind of communication, they make it illegal. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that. I know the dolphins are special.
You can't go. Yeah, they'll lock you up. Well, over here anyway, anywhere it's like a federal law. It's kind of crazy. It's like, why are they doing that?
They're so scared about everything we could uncover. They're just like, blocking everything. They're just like so scared, because we have access to a lot of knowledge today with all those tools they gave us, and well, it's
and
interesting.
also in Avatar, guys, even they try to show the tree, the giant tree, right?
Vikka, your mic, Vikka.
You went out a little bit.
Yeah, you went out. Your mic shut off. Yeah.
Yeah, like in Avatar, they show us like a giant tree.
Yes.
Also, right? So that it's quite might be possible that life is possible on trees, because as I said, food, plants, technology, everything, right? And then everything that grows from the earth in form of vegetation or coming from the ground, right? It's magical. Imagine what we would do without plants and trees, guys. So what I'm seeing here is the importance of the tree of life, right? Which goes all the way up. Yeah, go ahead.
It is also mentioned that the man is as a tree. Man is like compared also to a tree. A tree gives everything. Gives you, first of all, protection from the sun. There's no trees in the desert, in the dry, places. You have to have waters, for trees to grow, like, at least in such a distance. Yeah, you have to have soil. So trees are, I believe the fruit of like life itself. Like, when you have a tree that grows high, it's a sign of, a rich soil, rich land, life. Of course.
And there's usually other life around the tree too.
Yes,
plenty of other life that goes with it.
Always, the tree provides everything, and if it's a tree that gives fruits, yeah, exactly.
Sure.
So,
you guys know that most of the major United States highways, like federal highways, the big ones, are built mainly over old tree root systems, and that's why the energy flows like they control and harness your energy more like that from the tree roots, and then they radiate up through you. I didn't know if y'all knew that or not. And concrete and stone, is put over it, like old cobblestone roads. Yeah.
You're talking about the big monster old trees, right? The stone trees that are stone now, right?
Big one, the big ones.
Yeah, well, there's debate about that. I'm not sure exactly what to think, but it's really interesting, and some people break that stuff down really, really nice. Hangman 1128 does.
you know that in the beginning, men were always, only eating from trees, not even plants, like trees, fruits. Adam in the beginning was just fruits,
and not even a fraction of how much we eat today.
Yeah, well, what?
Oh yeah,
and, go ahead.
And the Adam and Eve, as you guys are saying, also related with the tree, right?
Exactly. The trees was a higher quality of food for mankind. Then mankind screwed up and they started eating meat. So here we go now, new rules,
What-
new things, and people
I,
got down with
I do
it.
think I do think though, Sam, something that may be overlooked by a lot of people though is um, sure the big trees, the old trees and stuff, and the bigger people, but I think there was a time in pre-Diluvian when we were naturally like that because of the pressure in the air, right? The oxygen and everything.
Yeah, less
I don't
pressure,
know if y'all
thicker
know,
gas.
but there's a theory that the tear in the sky, the Great Rift they call it, that's an actual tear, and then the waters came down and all the gas pressure went out, and now that it healed up, that's like a scar or something. It's a theory like that now that there's not as much gas pressure, that's why we don't grow as big. Has
Yeah,
anyone else heard that?
I know one thing is that if you put animals, you grow them into high pressure, they get bigger. Rats, rabbits, it's been
Mm-hmm.
it's proved that air pressure actually increases the size of the flesh. I don't know how it works, but this I know that I saw that. Now we know also that Adam was higher, was taller. It is said that it was like 5 meter high. I don't know what it means, if it's mysticism, if it's something that's allegories or something. I don't know, but I know they were like higher, bigger, even though if it's maybe just spiritually, because it's only like 5,000 years ago. It's not very long. It's not like a billion years ago. It's like 5,000 something years ago, according to
Right.
what we know.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think
And
that man can evolve like that much, like regress that much, like in 200 generations, like this. I don't know. But anyways, that's what it says. That it says that they were eating fruits and they were like much taller.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have to.
could be also fallen angels, right?
It,
Maybe from the
it,
upper realms falling down here and making the giants, right? Maybe these people were giants, some of them from different
what
part
what
of the realm or branches, right? Or
well,
different levels.
we know one thing is for sure, that before 5,700 years ago, there was another civilization here on Earth that was destroyed, and that our civilization, our cycle of time starts 5,700 years ago. Not the creation of the matter that was always
Well,
there. Water was always here. The Earth was always there. You understand?
Sam, we are very small part of a branch. We are just a very small canopy of a very small part of this
Yeah, that's it. But we
very
are in.
small. So just see, that's what, like, we want to be so ignorant of thinking, right? We are the only ones, right? It's crazy. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
but
Like as you guys are
somehow.
saying, things grow. Yeah, go ahead.
No, just to say that somehow we may be small, compared to everything that was behind us, but somehow we are the fruit of everything that grew before us. That means somehow we are the result of all these generations of this past world that got destroyed. Because now we're living, we're not destroyed. We're still up and alive and kicking. So that means at that point we have something more than what those people had, because these people disappeared. We did not. We're still here. So I'm talking about civilizations here on Earth, not about different realms or whatever. But I'm saying that we are very important, I believe, because we are actually the product of all these generations, the outcome of everything that was before us. So I don't know. I don't know how
Oh, yeah,
we
this is the
can.
reason that the Garden of Eden is supposed to be in the center, right? The
I don't,
garden
I don't know. I
where
have no clue. I know that it's
this,
linked to Egypt. I know that it's very much linked to the land of Egypt. But that's all I can tell you. I don't know where it
yeah,
is. I
but
don't
also
know.
also in the north is the Garden of Odin, right? It's the same thing.
I,
It's the Garden of
it's possible. We don't know enough. Everything which is written in our books is mostly has written, through allegories and subtleties, and we have to decode all this. It's not like to take, literally. So everything is possible. The Norse in Hebrew, it means the hidden place. Saphon in Hebrew is what's hidden. So of course, what's hidden, may hide like very important things. I don't know. It's
so
possible. Everything's
Eden,
on the table. I'm open
exactly,
to it.
brother. Eden and hidden is right there in the same word.
Yes, yes, you can say that. Yes, I was thinking about this when I was saying it. Yes.
Hey, Vika.
But yeah,
What,
just one thing about
what kind
Eden.
of?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No,
Go ahead,
I
Jimmy.
don't mean to cut you off. I was gonna
Go
change
ahead.
the
Go ahead.
subject a little less. Yeah, Vika. I was wondering, like, so with the different plants and animals and beings, what kind of colors were there? Were you restricted to the color scheme
Oh,
we have here?
wow.
Oh,
Dude, there's
interesting.
no explanation of colors and combinations in the
Yeah,
flora,
yeah.
fauna, in the places, guys.
I,
It's mind blowing, brother. It's like faunas and realms merging into realms, and
Wow.
wow,
yeah.
space like totally expands, and everything. The magnitude is huge, right? It's
So
like,
there's some less physicality. It seems like we're restricted in this physical world. So it seems like that some of those restrictions seem to be kind of compromised, let's say, or infiltrated or played with.
oh yeah, because it's manifesting in energy, right? So even the darker realms there, you're seeing it, you're feeling it, right? You are seeing those creatures, and also, right? So, and also the beautiful part, also the angels, also the
Mm.
light beings, also the more organic ones, also the more advanced one, also the more uh,
Right.
divine god types, right? With
Wow.
huge cathedral kind of constructions in mountains, in trees,
Mhm.
Dude.
in the it's guys, the
And Magic
colors.
Midget, Matt, you
Wow,
can't
the
forget them.
colors. Wow. It's like sometimes you're passing through very forestal ways. Sometimes you're passing through very tunneled, and there are like ramps which are just between the trunk. It's so huge, the trunks.
So I have. It's important what you're saying, because I'm thinking also to myself like this. Look, if it's true what is written, that God, said, let there be light, and there was light, and then He called the light day. That means to me, as an investigator, that a day is also a light. That means that a time has also a color, a light. So that means that maybe when you travel like in different realms with lots of colors, maybe it's time traveling. That means you quit, you leave the place where you at, like this world, or your
Mm.
body, whatever, and then in fact it's not where you're going, but when you're going. It's like you're going in space,
Hmm.
in time.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you.
It's very important,
It's an
Yeah.
because
interdimensional time travel, brother.
it's
Absolutely.
time. It's not. So that's very interesting, because those colors maybe just reflect times. I don't know.
Yeah, the
Then
color
what it.
in the rainbow. You're right, Sam. It's only the length of a wavelength, right? Your wavelength in your color is some is longer, like red is a little bit
Yep.
shorter than blue, right? And it's just the space in between that oscillation. It changes
Because
color. Yeah.
so that
Guys, I
that's
cannot
very.
even name, I don't even have names to put to the colors. There are so many other colors, guys. We know only the RGB and all these 7 colors, guys.
So that's
There are
that's that's
colors.
interesting.
It's wow. It's
I call it ionized gas, right? The plasma, right? There's so many different fluorescents, like you say. Yeah, it's much more depth. Like you can almost feel color. I remember one dream I had, Vika, where this spaceship was dripping like a syrup kind of fluid, but it was. You ever seen those 8K videos of like paint drops, but there's a bunch of colors mixed together? Well, it
yeah,
hit my
yeah. It's
skin,
morphing.
and
It
when
morphs.
it
It everything
yes,
is
and when it hit my
morphing and
skin,
creating. Yeah,
m-
opening up.
my whole arm started getting ate up by not ate up, but it just like transformed into this milky paint like structure, and it
So,
was really cool. It was outside, yeah.
Oh, oh yeah. That because it's like almost like changing of frequency is happening, and it starts with like a morphing of things, and then it's like you're just there in, right? And it's not like, I'm just, again, I want to say this, that it's not just one place. So out of all these different realms, on this all these different branches, it's our realms in itself, right?
Mhm.
In itself. Like,
So,
so Asgard is not just one small place there. In Asgard you have different kinds of being and different kind of places, depending, right, how light beings they are. So there are cities which are floating in the air, right?
so, so you do you believe then that the Eden Garden or whatever places you went there is so very much colorful, right? So if it is Eden Garden, if it is a representation of a different Eden Garden, something I don't know, but it's linked to colors. That's what you're saying.
Oh
There's a lot
yeah,
of
like
colors.
jewels, colors and
Yeah.
jewels and symbols and
Okay,
like
so I just want to tell you.
hieroglyphs and everything you could imagine, but of that particular cosmology.
Let me tell you a secret that you won't find. I don't believe on internet, but you know that God, when He created the Eden Garden, He said that the garden was placed. I don't know, in your translation it may be like in the eastern Eden, in the eastern part of Eden. He planted the garden, and in Hebrew these two words, Eden is Eden, okay, Mikedem, that means at the eastern part of Eden, which is an area. He placed a garden. But Eden Mikedem in Hebrew, if you keep the same letters in the same place, I mean it's the same words, just change the vowels, the pronunciation, it becomes Eden Mikodem. And Eden Mikodem means textually a previous time. Eden is a period of time in Hebrew, the same letters, of Eden, and Mikedem means Mikodem, that means from before, from an previous period of time. So that means that
Wow.
when you read Eden Mikedem, that means Eden in eastern the Garden of Eden in eastern Eden. That means actually also you can read it also as that he placed that garden into a previous period of time. This is textual, literal Hebrew. So the Hebrew has a few letters, but it's very rich because you have many different facets. Every word has a different angle. You can understand the meaning of a word by reading the different ways. So that's one of the angles.
I like how you put it, Sam. Like, it's almost like a time travel, brother. Also, it's like
Exactly, there is something in the entire Torah. The time and space are dancing together. They just like, sometimes you believe that you're talking about a space, like a place, but actually you're talking about a time, and vice versa. Sometimes you
exactly,
believe
but that doesn't mean that it don't exist, brother. This is what I
but
mean. It's like a
it,
time
it,
travel
it
to
exists.
explain somebody, Sam. Like,
It
to
ex-
explain somebody. Yeah, it's like a time travel. But
Everything exists. Of course, it exists. This is not like about like fantasy. It exists. Everything exists. But time is very, very, very hard for us to materialize because it's not material. It's something else. But it's a reality that exists and that we can go in and out from. You know.
oh
Uh,
yeah, exactly. In the Avatar, they're showing it in a more scientific way, right? He goes into a machine and they reach in Pandora, right? But this is reality here with the plant technology that's happening. The same thing
exactly.
without any machine
But
technology. You are
that,
literally going and visiting in different realms as an
yes.
avatar. You are
But
literally like one of the freaking gods of the Norse cosmology, destroying those huge snakes and creatures and dragons, the bad ones, right? And there is also the good ones, right? So what I mean is, somebody to take this journey might have needed 5 visits to Asgard, to reach to Asgard. But
and then
because of that alignment and because of those experience, in a way, if you want to call it, the doors were
Um,
open till right up the north, because right up the up part, because when you reach that Yggdrasil on the north, there you meet those beings with the weather, with the eagles. You see, there's on
oh,
Yggdrasil, there's an
yeah.
eagle, with a, and you see those beings, man, those colors and those beings, guys. I
Dang, I
cannot
want to
put
go
in
there.
words,
Hey,
man.
But
Hey,
do
can you know? I believe you. Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt, guys. I gotta drop down. Duty's calling for me right now, and I gotta go get dinner ready for the family. I just wanted to say thanks for having me on here, you guys. I really do appreciate it. I'm gonna hang out in the YouTube chat and still listen in. But I am gonna just for everyone who's listening, for the topic of psychedelics is to I would say really embrace them. Because when you have these experiences, you can tap into the knowledge that we're talking about on these types of ideas and these types of scriptural readings. And it teaches you to seek knowledge. It teaches you not to reject certain types of teachings and to accept certain ones. It teaches you how to look at your struggles as preparation for the future and to get you ready for something even bigger. It shows you generosity, deep inner knowing, and it can show you and teach you how to make alignments in your life. And it is a catalyst for transformation and for healing. And so I'll drop my plane with that. And so Vikka, RG, Sam, Gene, I love you guys. I do apologize for dropping early, but duty is
Much
calling.
love, brother.
back to
Yeah.
reality. But
Hey, and I'll send you.
Yeah, much
I'll
love,
send you
bro.
the. I'll send you the firmament video on your either. Are you on X, by the way?
Yeah, set it on my X. Yeah, I got you on there. Yep.
Can oh, you did? Okay. I can't remember, dude. It's so much happens, but yeah, much love. I'll send you these ideas about the firmament and stuff, and just give me some feedback, bro.
Absolutely.
Much love.
All right, I love you guys. We'll talk again soon. Vikka, appreciate you, brother.
Oh yeah, bro. Thanks for passing by, bro. Have a great evening.
All right, speak to you guys soon. Have a good
Okay,
night.
later, brother. Enjoy the evening.
bye.
So Eagles, Vika, you say Eagles. I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to drop soon. It's been 3 hours, but I want to hear about the Eagles, brother. This has been a great talk, man. Heartfelt for sure, and I'm glad that everyone gets together every now and again like this and speaks just on whatever their heart's talking about, man. So I thank you as well.
Oh yeah, bro. It's like trying to share an experience once in a, like maybe few lifetime experience, right? That this can happen. So yeah, as I tell you, I cannot put everything in words, right? I'm trying my best what I can, but yeah, it's quite difficult to explain, right? It's possibilities of these realms of these giant trees and all these beings living there, and there are places that is absolute paradise and beings, and that we cannot even, our imagination could even think that they are possible, right? Technologies and places and uh, flora and fauna. That is the reason why all the cosmology have their symbols and signs and their spirit animals, and right, everything is connected because it comes from different realms, right? This is like almost like if you see the Norse cosmology, the dragons, the all the things, right? It's like it's a different cosmology, right? So it's like you really like in an experience where literally it's like you are, I don't know, it looks like you are in a freaking video game or something like this, right? Because it's more real than what reality is for you, because that's not like the possibilities of doing very specific and focusing and a specific place, and where you have this vegetal technology which helps you as a tool to access that, and you do it on a right point and you experience something like this, and you're trying to share with the people you care and love, right? And the people, nobody have to believe me, right? As I said, if you guys have any question, any queries about anything, ask me. Maybe more things comes up, but as much as I can put it in word, I'm putting it out there that this realm is freaking beautiful, right? It's not just we are the center of the whole universe and this is it. Like what I'm trying to say is that this, as all the cosmology speaks, it shows that there are multiple levels or layered earth, if you want to call it. Maybe these are the real layers of the earth, right? When maybe we were speaking about those ether-bound documents and the earth being layered, right? They're trying to explain it in a scientific way, but right, it's crazy. Yeah, man. Go ahead.
Bro, that's so cool. You say it was about 6 hours, right?
Oh yeah, these voyages is not just like 10 minutes. Like you're not gonna even remember the 85%. Like you're gonna
Yeah,
put it
yeah.
back, right? This is the thing. You're gonna try to remember the most, like where you
Right.
can explain. But yeah, the beauty is like, yeah, it's layers between layers of realms and civilizations and people and humanoids and
Yeah.
mutants and beings and
Colors.
So,
combinations and colors and
Yeah.
trees and as a, yeah, it's uh crystals.
You know,
Crazy. It's like,
I
so
remember as a kid, you know, being fascinated by the idea of when you're going through this with, you know, alone. Some people didn't understand how I could do it alone, but that was one of my favorite ways. But when we got into the groups, we all were like, we had these conversations where we all just understood everything that was going on and that ever went on and that is going to go on. You had this deep understanding of everything. And when it was over, you forgot it.
so what does that bring us? Like when you travel like this, you see all these things, you come back. So what do you feel that it brought you? What did you gain from that? Like, do you gain like a consciousness of, like, things, the world is bigger than what we
Yeah,
believed, or what does it
absolutely.
give?
Yeah, right there, bro. There is way more to this world than we're being told. And there's other worlds that physical bodies just always can't mix with. And you know, we don't really, you know, when this body, we were talking about before, like the ego, this is all ego based world kind of thing, you know, and this takes you out of that a lot. Because it's not like I'm not really Gene, you know, it's like I'm not Jim Carrey kind of thing. When he said that, I was like, what? But it's really true. We're not really these people walking around. And I think the spirit world is like, this is a sort of like a breeding ground for spirits. And, you know,
Yeah,
if we
that's what
think
I'm
the,
trying to.
right, if we think the things we're doing down here are really important, and they are, you know, your children, your family, your friends, you take care of everybody, right? Um, Wait till you get to some of the other worlds and you realize how important it is. Like, you know, I've often wondered, are trees possibly more spiritually advanced than we are? You know, to be the spirit of a
So,
tree has
so
a great responsibility, I think, you know, and I don't know, I wonder about stuff like that. Same with animals and people and spirits and rocks and dirt and all of this, everything, water, air, it's all God. And
so that's a conflict into all this that I
yeah,
believe,
Sam,
because
I want to answer you before that.
okay,
Sam,
go ahead.
you asked me what is my purpose in this,
Y-
right? To why my experience I'm sharing this.
What is your profit from this? Yeah, not the
Yeah,
purpose, but the profit. What do you gain from this? Yes.
what I gain from is this. I'm trying to help to understand what this realm could be. People don't have to believe me, right? We are doing research, we are doing investigation about this realm and what it is, right? So this is for that the people understand my experience of explaining what that all the cosmologies have been saying. It's very true. It looks like that. It doesn't mean we cannot be one day there in a different form,
Oh
right? What
yeah.
I mean, yeah. So understanding this realm is more than anything, right? It's like it's not on this divine creation is not only what we see here from from Norway to Chile. This is not our world, guys. For fuck's
So
sake,
so
right?
that's the whole point. I'm trying to analyze this. That means that I agree with you that there are other worlds, that there are other realms, and that we're part of something much, much bigger than what we understand. Now, my question is this: if there is a God and it did create that reality that we're in, that this world, that means that somehow we got some kind of a role, something something to do here. So what I'm trying to tell you is that knowing that there are different reality and different worlds that we do not belong to yet because we're not there yet, or maybe we can see through the window and we can see that there are, but we're here. So how can we use that knowledge for us here? That's what I'm trying
Maybe,
to tell you.
yeah, but maybe because if you are going out of here, maybe you try to understand what is this place.
Ah, okay, 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 understand. So the thing that we can see by living this place, we can understand, we can have a bigger picture, like of of what we have to do
Exactly,
here. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, that makes sense.
There
That
is
makes sense.
there is no fake space, right? With this voyage, it looks like it's just a huge trees of of sizes that we cannot even imagine, where worlds are there, right? Are
Mhm.
living. This is what it looks like, right? Maybe you interpret it however the people want to interpret, and we are speaking about the importance of tree and everything, right? So it's just so to try to help to understand what this RAM could be. That's it. Because we are thinking that it's Gleason, and we are thinking it's a dome right there, and right. So just trying to show that all these cosmology have been saying the same thing. And as I said, as you said too, right? We cannot be as them right now, but maybe we were them and we are become more down, or maybe we, right? So what I mean is that we humans have a lot of, I don't know how the creator looks. I'm not saying that I've seen the creator, right? But whatever these realms are, whatever these beings are, guys, I'm not saying they are the creators. They are part of the creation, right?
Yes.
These places, all this is part of the creation. And the way and the places these are, we are almost like in ground zero in a way.
Or
All right.
or maybe there are other creations. Like we're not the only one creation. Maybe the what you see is like previous creations. If we travel into time, or you see future things, or maybe past things. I don't know, but
Or
we know that
simultaneously together, because why can't all the different timelines exist, right? Why is that
everything is on the
only we
table.
have to exist, right? Only that, why that only we are the ones who are existing, right?
Well, in our reality, this is what we can see, But again, if we live that reality and that we see that our other reality, or our reality is a part of a bigger reality, so that can help us understand our reality and understand, our purpose. That I agree 100%. Now the thing is that is there like something that can be negative out of all this? Is there something that can mislead us? Like even though it's like nice and beautiful everything that we see, is it possible that by knowing too much at one point we end up doing nothing? It's also so that's my point. Like, how do we manage all that knowledge? How do we manage all that consciousness? It's
Oh,
huge.
connecting the dots, right? Connecting the dots from different places and seeing. That's what I'm saying, right? We are doing the physical research and understanding and reading and doing every experiment or observation to understand the RAM. Yeah, we are doing that. This is
So
just
so that
another option of
so that
seeing. Yeah.
that's the thing I'm saying is that for example, for me, at my experience, when I started investigating, the ancient scriptures in original Hebrew, wow, I found so many things, so many interesting things. But it's crazy. There was so much things that I said to myself, I don't have the time to understand everything. It's crazy. I cannot become like an encyclopedia of knowledge. So I took some specific subjects, and I went all the way to the bottom of them. But I know that, for example, when you have you have access to so much knowledge, so much consciousness, at one point you need a plan. You need like an organization. Say, okay, I want to understand this thing, because if not, it's like I'm afraid it can be like drinking wine. You can get drunk out of all this and just go nowhere, not don't do nothing. But somehow, maybe by getting drunk, maybe by knowing too much, without doing much with that knowledge. Maybe it's enough. It's also enough to diffuse the light to others that gonna understand other things. Maybe it's just the point, just to know things. I'm just trying to say, maybe if we could like manage, like try to canalize all that we know, or just like aim in one direction in order to reach something, to build something, not just knowing things for knowing things, because there's so much to know, so much to understand. It's like it's crazy. We're never gonna have
Yeah.
enough
Oh, yeah.
time.
But it depends, Sam. Also, that I don't know where the people gonna hear this. I don't know. Imagine that this never happened. This podcast never happened. I never said anything about this to anybody out of
Yes.
all my different journeys, right? So I see something. I saw something that is related to our understanding the realm, and that's why I am sharing it, right? So
Mhm.
whatever the people want to understand, take or feel or think I am crazy, it's up to the people.
No, this is not the point. The thing is that when you share something, you cannot expect everybody to to like what you share or to agree with you.
For
That's not a
sure,
big
for
deal.
sure.
That's not a big deal. As soon as you can reach even one person, even one guy that you can awaken, so that's already a victory. If you can just like pull out one guy out of the dark and make him understand things, that's already a victory. You don't have to convince the whole world, but you're right to share that. Don't be scared of sharing that. I also have things that I can share also. I also had experiences of things like it was kind of crazy before that I came back to studying the Bible and everything. But the thing is that I'm very prudent and very cautious all the time with knowledge, because I know that knowledge also can
Everything,
can
Sam,
harm us.
Sam, everything cannot be explained every time in a rational way.
No, no, not rational. No, no, I'm not talking about like explaining things. I'm just
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
that.
yeah. I'm saying that the realms cannot just always be understand or explained in a rational way, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The spiritual aspect of the understanding the realm is totally different thing, right?
But can understanding the realm harm us somehow? Is it possible that knowledge can also harm us? I do not believe so. I believe that's just the way we manage it that can harm us. But knowledge in itself is like the truth. Truth should not hurt us, even though it's possible. That's what I'm trying to tell you, because it's like power. You're playing with power. When you reach knowledge, when you reach consciousness, it's like pure power. So we maybe have to manipulate that carefully. That means like you have to be careful. Maybe I don't know. I think it's we have to know. We have to understand things. We have to get a bigger picture. But I'm always like afraid of like maybe whoa wow it's too it's too big for me. It's like whoa. You understand? I'm gonna act like fucking like lucid.
That's why you got to kind of, take what
What
you
you can.
resonate with any
Yeah,
situation, bro, and let that
that's what I'm.
resonate. It's
That's what
not
I'm
our
saying.
job to change anybody's mind, bro. That's a big responsibility to put on yourself. You know, all we could do is plant the right seeds in the right soil.
Yes.
So you look at the people like the soil, and people are individual, man. So they take things their own way, and if you know someone, maybe there's with all the problems going on now, and issues, things going on, the weirdness going on around the whole world. There's plenty of ways people are looking at things differently lately, so there's a lot more communication routes to hit these days with people, where you can say this thing, then you can start leading it into other things really a lot easier, because a lot of these things might be remotely connected and hard to put the pieces together, but they are, and they are connected, and you can put the pieces together.
Oh
You
yeah,
know, but
planting the seed, brother. As you said, planting the seed. What is going to come out? A tree.
yeah, right, or some sort of
Right.
life out of that, bro. But it's not our responsibility to try and change someone's mind, man. That's a brick wall you're trying to go up against, I think, so to speak. I've been there, believe me, because that was like when I first found out, it was like, oh my god. I was, like dumbfounded. Like, well, how am I going to tell my kids, my wife, and my family about all of this.
Yeah,
Not even thinking they're gonna make fun of me and be like, ah.
yeah.
Not
Forget
even,
about it. We don't care about that.
but yeah, nah, so I don't know. It's all how you look at things too, bro. So that's what I would offer for that. It's maybe not.
Well, the thing is, what's interesting is that the things you come up with by your own thinking, your own research, somehow always complete my own research. On my side, that's interesting, because I'm trying to reach the truth, my way, with my own world, my own, Jewish world, my Torah and all that. You're trying to reach the truth, your own way, with whatever you believe in, and somehow our roads meet. That means we getting there. You from one side, me from another side, Vikka from another side, and somehow, we are on the right path. That's what's interesting by gathering knowledge like this from whatever places you want to gather it from. Because if your intention is to understand this world, is to reach the truth somehow, so you're on the right path. Whatever means you have, whatever ways you use, you're on the right path. So that's interesting. I believe it's we're living the resurrection.
It's in all cosmology, brother. Many were taken to the heavens, right? I could say that. That's it, right?
Very interesting. Very interesting. I love spiritual discussions. That's like it helps understand different things, like more our material world. It helps understand a lot of things. And because in this world, we don't have too much occasions to discuss like that. What do you see discussions like that on TV or on the radio, on the internet? People don't discuss like this.
It's a 30-second clip demonizing it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So this is the thing, guys. I'm just sharing it with you all because I feel it, because it has to do something with our realm. This all just don't come easy, right? All this thing is a lot of time of hard work and dedication, in a way of, because, as I said, things don't come easy. The mother nature or creator or the intelligent design just don't show you and give you something like this.
Of course, because
Right.
if he did, he would have forced us to believe in him. The thing is that we have to be free. So of course he cannot, show you proofs, or forces you to believe in him. So you're gonna have to deduct that he's alive, and that he's living, and that he's behind all the creation. But this is
Yeah. What I mean is that it is all a process, brother. It's not just a few month thing, right? All this is process and growing with time to come at a point where everything synchronizes and meets for a reason. This is what I'm seeing, right? That's it.
Yeah, of course.
I cannot explain and define everything what I feel, right?
But it's very interesting. I'm always like I'm always taking something out of this podcasts. I'm always like gaining something. At the end, I'm gonna be rich.
Oh yeah, we all are trying to. Yeah, I can say that this is. Yeah, it's very beautiful. Everything we see and everything that we cannot see, it's beyond beautiful. If there's any word for beyond beautiful, right? This amazing place. Because go ahead.
What is great is that you bringing like different beliefs, different religions than mine, and different things, and somehow I believe that we flat earthers, we might be like filters. That means like we throw out all the bullshit, and we take everything which is true, which is all over the place. Like there is truth everywhere. I believe in all beliefs, in all languages, in all religions, in all things. So we some kind of, like somehow we are retrieving all these sparks of truth there that are all over the place, and that we put them on the table, we put them all together, and we see that it's like a puzzle, like and we we
Yeah.
starting to understand that everything is linked somehow. But on the way, we are also leaving all the bullshit, because there's also a lot of bullshit all over the place. So we just like retrieving pieces of the truth, like a puzzle. Like it's interesting, and we put all together, everything together, and everyone with his own beliefs, his own things, and this is very unique. It's a unique experience to my mind. I don't know. So
Hey,
I'm
I wonder if
Yeah,
there's
go
like
ahead, Dean.
any. I wonder if there's any like inherited spiritual longing that we have from any past lives from the beautiful communities we used to live in. If that's true, what if we were living in those communities where the star forts and the pyramids and all
well.
all the structures were really functioning, and there was worldwide peace, and we were in that
I
in
don't know if
that
I can
world.
answer your question with that information, but I'm gonna try. You see, I've been thinking a while ago now. I've been thinking for a while. Who are this all these flat earthers? These guys, because so I'm Jewish, so we Jews, we have a tendency to believe and to understand. Okay, we got the Torah, so we got the book of truth. We have a special story and everything, and we special and everything, and which is true in somehow. But somehow I'm saying, you have all those nations around us that are also the part of the creation, part of the creator. And somehow I was trying to understand who are those people, these people that are not, that do not belong to the Jewish people, but that also are looking for the truth. And they're not only looking for the truth, but they are investing everything they have for the truth, everything they are, they're fighting for it. Because this is proper usually to our forefathers, to Abraham, to Israel, to Jacob, that fought, Pharaoh, they fought Nimrod, they fought all those people there. So, and I try to analyze if we can identify you guys in our Torah, and I believe I found something interesting. I don't know if you know, but when Abraham and Sarah did not have any children, they used to be in a place called Haran. It's in northern Lebanon somewhere. And over there, they used to. It is known in Judaism that they did convert a lot of people to monotheism, to the belief in God. And at one point, they came down to Egypt, and it is said that they came down with all the people they made in Haran, which means they came down with a lot of people, a lot of followers. However, when they left Egypt, these people are not mentioned anymore. They just disappeared. Most people, stayed in Egypt. Now, 3 months later, when Abraham had that war with all the kings, there was like a war of the kings. I don't know if it's mentioned in the Torah. You see that he had something like 300 followers that stayed with him, that came back from Egypt with him. And somehow I believe that maybe because these people were not the sons of Abraham, they were not from the dynasty of Abraham, were from the nations. They they embraced, Abraham's beliefs, and they embraced his ways of thinking and of fighting for the truth, and they stayed with him. So we don't know where these people are, but somehow I believe that maybe you guys, whoever is not Jewish, do not belong to the family, like to the genes of Abraham. I mean, I believe that you are the sons also of Abraham in a way that, you are the ones that before the Jewish people, was reconstituted. You're the ones that, maybe were with Abraham at that time. That because what you are doing is exactly what Abraham was doing. He was fighting to teach people, to explain them things. And even the word Abraham in Hebrew has an anagram, which is Amevaher, which means the explainer, the one that explains deeply things. And he was fighting with people to explain them things and to promote the truth. So you get something. It's not deniable. Nobody can say no. You have something that belongs to these great people who also at one point fought for the truth. This is proper to that guide according to our books, of course. So I believe that, you guys might be part of these people. That's what I believe. That I don't know if it answers your your question, even though before that I believe that we're much closer than that, because God created all races, all people, and He created them with differences because we all have a different role. Everybody has a role in the creation. But I believe it's interesting because it's not normal. Your attitude for people from the nation is not normal. Usually, people um, they don't think about all this. They think about having
Yeah,
fun.
yeah. Example, Sam. Absolutely awesome that you said this, right? One of the other different podcasts apart from the flat earth that I did ever something like this was when I did that podcast about the seraphims, right?
Yes.
I don't have anything to do with religion, but why I had that experience, right? And we went in detail, right, Gene? So
Oh yeah.
so yeah, bro, it's for all of us to understand everything because it's all creation of the intelligent design, right?
Yes, but
Everything.
for you to promote it and to spend your time and money and efforts and a reputation for this, that means and that proves that you belong to something bigger. I mean, it's not, usually people don't think about this. They don't give a shit. They just think about their own problems. They think about ball games, barbecues, beers, and that's because people that like life, they want to make life. They don't want to make knowledge. They want to just live good, and die, and that's it. And they don't care about the rest. So if you guys step out of this reality, and you invest yourself so much into finding the truth, that means you have noble origins, whoever they are, if it's from the blood, if it's from the spirit, if it's from the, I don't know, but it comes from
Spirit.
something noble. It's noble. I don't want to just like give you like free
I don't
praise.
know,
It's true.
Sam. Sam,
It's
I don't
noble.
know, but maybe for a reason I don't know, bro. Right? I also ask myself, right? Why? Right? Why me?
Yeah.
Maybe, but all this time, right? So is every time it's like, uh, but maybe it was a purpose. This maybe this is the one of the purpose or message, one of the messages, right? Apart from all this, what we are sharing and researching, could be this. I don't know. What I'm saying is, for me, these are visions. For me, these are real visits, more real than this reality, right? Because once we understand the other side, we understand this that we are not, uh, how you say, we are immortals. We are not mortals. Because to understand that we are immortals, we have to kind of die in a way, right? Or go beyond the curtain, right? Then only we understand, right? Yeah.
One thing that can give you, when you understand all this, it can give you the courage to fight here, because now you know what you're fighting. You're fighting for something bigger. It gives a higher purpose to your life. This is what I believe. What it gives you, which is good, but it's important because most people, they don't even know what they live for. They live for what? To die with more money in the bank. To die for what? For so they don't have a purpose really. But when you understand that you're part of something big, so it helps you. It helps you go through this life and live for a greater purpose, and automatically take chances and fight, and because now you're not scared anymore. You know because you know that what you're doing is it's going to echo in the in all realms, in this whole reality for a long time. So that's important to understand that we part of something great, and that we are ourselves great if we want to. So that's interesting. That makes sense. All this makes sense. It's not that complicated. I believe it's that simple. But
We absolutely, brother. We have so many other lives that we are maybe living right now. Maybe we think this is only the reality or this is only the place we exist, right? It's absolutely possible, right? And maybe in the future, maybe in the past, or maybe right now in different places as other us, right? And in different forms, right? I wouldn't could believe that we were not only in humanoid form, we were part of the nature. maybe we were freaking tree before or whatever, right? But what I'm saying is like we are part of everything that exists, right? We have everything, every element inside us, right?
Oh yeah, yes. Oh yes.
To yeah, what I mean is also like from this great tree, the higher we are the more closer to the creator. The lower we are in the trees, that we are away from the right.
Yeah,
So
your mic is going on and off.
yeah, so we are all going to take the journey from the time it's created to all this journey all the way below to all the way again up, right? Maybe this is just one of those amazing huge trees out of that garden of the creator, which is just goes on, right? It's like it's
Look, I don't want to drive you crazy with this, but I had an idea, crazy idea. You know that the miracles, of the plagues in Egypt, where the water was transformed into blood. Maybe that can reflect also a different condition, maybe different nature of human beings. That you just said now, maybe we were trees. It's possible. Everything. I don't put away anything. I just everything's on the table. But it's possible that at one point, men were not constituted with like with flesh the way we see it with blood. Maybe it was more like, maybe it's vegetal. Maybe we had a vegetal body. Maybe like we had, instead of blood, we had water. When also Moses throws the stick on the floor and it becomes snake, it's also the idea of like a vegetal that becomes like flesh, meat, and then comes back. So there is that idea of like like something that is vegetal, like something that is like a tree, a plant, transforming itself into meat, into flesh. So the idea is there, even if it's like talking about something else, talking about plagues or different stories, different movies. But the notion is here. It's possible that at one point we were just eating trees or eating fruits from the trees because this is what we were made out of. Maybe it's possible, and then somehow, we became flesh. I don't know. Everything is possible. We just said that. You just said maybe we were trees before, and that remind me, what the idea I had about, maybe different times, maybe entire times. I don't believe like 5,000 years ago it was like this, but maybe before, I don't know. But it's possible. It's possible. Everything is possible.
oh yeah, mountains, trees, seas, oceans, right? The stars, right?
Yeah, we got all that in us. That's for sure. So we're much more important than what we believed so far, or what they
Oh
wanted
yeah,
us to believe. That's the point.
you're quite deep, brother Sam, in explaining. Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to drive you crazy because there's so many thoughts we can have with all these books and all these beliefs. But the thing, I don't believe that the point is to understand. I believe that the point is just to think. As long as we keep on thinking about all this, this is the gymnastic. This is the sport. Maybe the way we go on is more important than the destination. You understand? Because this is what forms you. This is what makes you. When you arrive somewhere,
Exactly.
it's over. That's what we said. Why did Israel had to go to Egypt and then go to Israel? Why didn't we just go straight to Israel and that's it? Yeah, Jacob made his children. Okay, let's go to Israel and let's stop. Take the country. And that's it. No, we had to go to Egypt. We had to go through all this because the ways is what forms you. The way we entered Israel, we were different because the way changed us. So I believe also what we are doing here, thinking about all kinds of subjects and devils, dragons, whatever, worlds, doesn't matter. The point is just like to think, because something will come out of this. Something always comes out of this when we think about all kinds of
That's
subjects.
that's the silence, Sam. Right, and your mind is quiet in there. So you
Yeah,
find a nice quiet place. You do. You find answers. So trust the silence, guys. It's so real.
yeah.
I don't know what it brings for understanding for the people for this, but I don't know. It's there. I try to put it in words how I can, and I say it's nothing. I've not even said 1% of what it all is, right?
But
So
that's raw material, man. You gotta, make it, fine, refine it. You gotta refine it, just like this is it. This is raw stuff, man. Just
I,
prove that
I, I
to be
hope
raw.
I can draw, right? Before I used to draw things, right? I cannot draw these things. It's there, right? I can it's crazy, right? So yeah, but in the beginning it feels like, oh, maybe you're never gonna see this again, or you're gonna, but no. The thing is, the once the door opens, it never closes, guys. So it's in you. It's in
Okay.
every one of us, right? So yeah, guys, maybe we could have gone on for more, but I think here it's good. What I want to say is this, right? This is a very beautiful place. This is amazing place. The only thing is that I had a chance for this amazing experience and voyage, which I am sharing with you all. Take what you think. Beautiful. This is a beautiful garden, right? Huge, with everything from humans to angels to creatures to everything we could imagine r- lives and inhabit these realms, and more civilizations, and at every difference of levels of evolution process, because
You, you see that when you break down the word voyage, which is a French word, it means to see the age. Voyage, to see the age. You seeing a different ages, like see different phase of time.
wow, awesome,
Voyage.
awesome, Sam, you're freaking amazing, bro.
Voyage. Well, just speak French, that's all. Just you make me think. You don't want to drive me crazy here. You make me think too much. I should sleep now. I should be sleeping.
Oh
Thanks
yeah, guys,
anyway.
yeah, we will have last thoughts and we'll wrap it up. If no, yeah, we go forever.
Well, keep on. My last word is just like keep on digging, man. Keep on sharing. Don't be scared of anything. Like anybody might think about you. You don't care. Just keep on sharing, because I learned a lot of things today. So for me, it was worth it to be up with you guys. And it's just like another brick in the wall, brick in if I can say that, because it's not maybe the good image, but it's just another piece of the puzzle, like let's say like this, that I can put into my own puzzle, what I'm trying to understand anyways. So that's good. That's positive for me. It's good. It's a very interesting podcast. Whoa.
Thanks, Sam, brother. Awesome
Welcome, my
inputs,
buddy.
like
Thanks to you.
always, my brother.
Thanks to you, my buddy. Thanks
Rocking,
to you. Thanks to you.
absolutely. Gene,
Bro, I'm like that, bro. Thank you so much for sharing that experience with us all, bro. You really got my gears turning, and you know, been a while, so now I'm having like memories. Wouldn't call them flashbacks, but definitely memories. You know. So yeah, guys, don't. Hopefully, nothing was delivered in the wrong way, because this is all just for educational, I guess, entertainment purposes. So we're not suggesting to go out there and do anything you wouldn't normally do, but to look into things is definitely worth trying to look
Of
into
course.
things and getting your own information, because we know the lies go deep, right? And this might have been a little deeper than usual, but I had a great time listening to everything, and hopefully contributed a little bit, because there's definitely way more to life than what we're being presented with here in this world, in this physical world. And we do sometimes touch on things in the spirit world. And I've said for a long time that this whole life, I'm 57 now. If I get it one more day out of it, this whole life would be like, you know, up 10 minutes of the morning in my spirit world, you know? So like that's where the time gets erased, and all the constructs that we're kind of have to live by here, they're all gone. So that's why I would suggest to I guess anybody who would be willing to check something out like that, though, is try lucid dreaming. A lot of you do it all the time and you understand it, but if you don't, check it out. It's really simple. You could do a couple tricks during the day. If you do some tricks during the day, you'd probably be lucid dreaming within a week or way less than a month, let's say. But if you're into that, I would definitely look that up because it's a lot of fun, and that could lead you into out of body experiences, which is a little different. But it's if you like that stuff, that could be a great starting point for anybody. But yeah, guys, I had a great time. Hope you did too. So Vikka and everybody on the panel, Aloha, Psychedelic, RG, Sam, everybody in the chat. I love all you guys. You're all my spiritual, psychic soul brothers and sisters. You know, and I do believe that you know if we were if we had the choice, you know, if we were running this place, if we had the controls, none of this would be happening. And you know, that was a great conversation. You know, that conversation reminds me of, you know, you're sitting there, you're in dream world, and let's say, you know, it's me on the drums, I'm on stage with Lowry, Chris Crumb, and let's say Sovereign. We're up there jamming in the biggest stadium possible. All you guys are out there. We're all hanging out, and next thing you know, the stadium is flying nice and soft like a balloon almost, but we're cruising right through one little tiny square of the screen. Right? Does that make sense? that's the kind of
Absolutely.
right. That's the kind of worlds we're talking about, though, guys. Worlds that almost cartoonish, but it could, if it was realistic, it's a lot of fun. So yeah, thanks everybody, and we'll see you next week. Right? Have a great week.
Great week,
Oh
man.
yeah, brother. Absolutely. What is cartoon and what is reality? Right? That is also a huge question. Right? It's yeah. So this is the thing, as you said, brother. Absolutely. This is only for research purpose only. We are not like telling people to do crazy stuff. It's just that the people understand that things are different possibilities. This whole realm is magical, and it's a magical way also of exploring the earth. It just happened to the timing of this whole alignment of the luminaries, and my experience with all this just aligned, where I got to experience something really out of this realm, right? So sharing it and putting it out there, maybe it might help or to understand or connect the dot or whatever we learn or we might learn in the future with this, but it's there for the people. So as I said, I'm just, maybe it's the timing that it happened, that all these years that this need to happen now, and it all had to come out in this way. I don't know. I'm just putting it out there because I feel like it's just the divine timing. And yeah, take people what you feel. Yeah, as I said, this is amazing place. In every angle we look, in every direction we look, right, and everything is more real than what maybe reality for us is, right? Once we know that what we are, you are not afraid of dying, right? And once you experience that out of body experience, you realize that you're immortal. You're never gonna die because it's, you've always been and it's always gonna be. So yeah, guys, amazing place. This is a beautiful garden by of that intelligent design. I'm not saying like believe me what I'm saying, but this is the thing. It's beautiful. All the cosmologies I've mentioned about those special places, and I had the privilege or maybe selected to go and see this and maybe tell you guys. I don't know. I don't know. So yeah, thank you everybody. Thanks Sam. Thanks Gene. Thanks RG, Keith, and thanks everybody who was here today with sharing this amazing moment. This is once in a yearly kind of podcast that just happens out of nowhere. And yeah, maybe it's for a reason that it happened this way. So tomorrow we won't be here as our weekly podcast, but that is the reason this unexpected download or whatever we want to call it that came from above as a amazing alignment with only happens every 300 years. So anyway, guys, I love you all. Yeah, this is a beautiful garden and I love it. It's full of light, it's full of magic, it's full of beauty. Love you all. Bye. This is because I was signing out, guys.
Take care, my buddy. Take care. Thank you for everything again. Nice show. Interesting show.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.